We are live. Welcome to Liberty Libations, everybody. We got Captain Ancapistan
Hello.
and Mr. Will Bell joining us tonight.
Hey, man.
We might have some surprise visitors or something like that. I don't know. We generally do. Last week we had 4 or 5 guys pop in and out. Not to make it sexual right off the bat, but and as you see, my name is Divide and Dominate. Right. Well, how do I do this? Right there. Divide and Dominate. Coming out next week on Vimeo. Actually, I'm going to...
Oh, that's right. There
we go. Just going to have a little tickle. Premiere is Thursday night. Yeah. A week from tonight will be... actually, the movie will have just ended a week from today at the premiere. Will, where do you live, Will? What area of Georgia?
Pierce County. We're like about an hour in from the coast around Brunswick. You know Brunswick area?
Yeah, I know Brunswick. I went to school in Savannah.
Right on. Okay, cool. Yeah, we're about closer to Brunswick than Savannah, but kind of halfway,
Gotcha.
Kind of midway there.
Gotcha. Well, if you do want to make a trek out for the premiere, you are more than welcome to.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, I'll get your info after this and send you an invite. And if you want to make that drive, you can. It'll be a fun night. But yeah, y'all, we per usual, I just have a few videos lined up, and we're just going to talk Liberty nonsense for a little while. So let's see.
I'm excited. Let's do it.
I'm going to share one of my tabs, and we're going to do a lot of couple tabs or couple videos of the Italian Prime Minister.
Emmanuel Macron.
Hi, Nick.
Going.
Hey, buddy.
Lì. La stampa italiana a dire, hai visto che ha detto Macron, siamo irresponsabili. Vergogna. Irresponsabili Emmanuel Macron sono quelli che hanno bombardato la Libia perché gli dava fastidio che l'Italia avesse un rapporto privilegiato in campo energetico con Gheddafi, esponendoci al caos migrazione nel quale ci troviamo.
All right, can you pause it?
Paused.
So that's awesome, first of all, because no one here talks about Libya other than us, basically.
I know, it's crazy.
Like, I don't even see Jimmy Dore or Caitlin Johnstone talking about Libya.
No.
And so I didn't know Italy was part of that. I'm not surprised. What?
I was doing my Hillary Clinton impression. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. But yeah,
I love it when do you think it's possible for an Italian speaking like publicly like this to not sound like a dictator?
I think it's easier to do that in Italian than German.
Yeah, okay.
German is just an angry sounding language.
Yeah, that's true.
Just like I think it's probably difficult to sound like a dictator in French.
That would be. I also love it when heads of state go after each other publicly and very publicly, and like specifically calling them out. Like a lot of the wimpier ones will make allusions to who they're talking about, but won't actually say their daggum name, and she just goes after him. It's crazy.
Macron is he one of the young global leaders for the WEF?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
And then so like the immigration problem that like your average Reddit using shitlib knows that there's like a bunch of immigrants flooding from the Islamic world into Europe. They seem to have no idea why. Like, or maybe say, well, they're just coming from shitholes in bad countries. Like, well, okay, why did that happen?
Yeah, what made them have to leave or want to leave their home country?
Yeah. Is there a country in North Africa that has open air slave markets right now?
I don't think they know that.
Yeah, not many
Which
people
is
do.
insane. I mean, you want to talk about the problems in the world. That's a big one right there.
The controversy is Benghazi.
Yeah, there are more slaves in the world now than there have ever been.
Yeah,
Really?
well,
Is
it
that
looks
right?
like Eric Parker for Jacksonville City Council District 2 needs some of your wine.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
Dude, that wine's good. I got some at the convention.
And then let's see, somebody else. Stephen Newbold, can the Libertarian Party NASCAR caucus join you guys for an episode? Heck yeah, you definitely can.
Did we go anywhere with that? That was an interesting proposal.
That was Steven who was the one who did it, so we can probably have that conversation.
Yeah, Steven, you can come on tonight if you want to. Just hit us up in the chat again if you want to come on tonight. Otherwise, you can come on next time.
It didn't sound like the biggest slam dunk of an idea, but I really liked where his head was at.
What was this proposal?
To sponsor a NASCAR with the Libertarian Party, like a NASCAR car. The problem though is that it wasn't going to be for like a race that you've heard of. Like it wasn't going to be for Daytona 500 or something, and it wasn't going to be like a driver you've ever heard of. Which I mean, of course, because we're poor. Like,
Yeah,
we don't have giant corporations backing the party. So
that's
like,
interesting.
It was going to be some like I think he even said it was like a minor league car, which I didn't know NASCAR has minor leagues.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I
mean,
wrong,
there's
quote me on
so
that.
many racing leagues, man. Like
it's
there's
like this
all sorts of
it's
stuff.
It's the second tier, right? You have the top, and the second was the proposal.
But yeah,
It's-
the Venn
it's like-
diagram of people who watch NASCAR and the people who would be possibly libertarian is probably pretty decent.
I agree, and you're just staring at a car for 2 hours. You know,
Yeah.
like if you
And
don't
if it
get the
hits a
message
wall,
after that.
And if it hits a wall and catches fire, then everyone will see it on Sports Center.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but then it just looks like it's like the perfect analogy for the Libertarian Party, according to like the Republicans and Democrats. It's just like, oh,
and
look,
half of libertarians
Libertarian
now.
Party's on fire. Great. Yeah, you don't want that. That would be a very bad PR thing.
We could embrace it. It'd be
Yeah.
a fun meme.
It would be pretty funny. It would get used against us, I think, more than for us.
Whatever gets attention first, I guess.
Whatever
I don't
gets
know.
attention. Yeah.
I don't know. That's a hard line. That's a hard line to
Yeah.
Happy
Yeah,
holidays, everybody, right?
Gotcha. Yeah, anyway, with the rest of this, she pretty much just rails on Macron for a little bit. We can move on to the next one, which is another one of her, because I liked this other one better anyway. Which one is this?
I hadn't seen that one.
Yeah, it's not as good.
I think this is the one I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, this is the best one.
Tante altre di queste domande. A monte c'è quella che ci facciamo oggi: perché la famiglia è un nemico? Perché la famiglia fa così paura? C'è una risposta unica per tutte queste domande. Perché ci definisce, perché è la nostra identità. Perché tutto quello che ci definisce in questo tempo è un nemico. Per chi vorrebbe che non avessimo più un'identità e che fossimo solamente schiavi, consumatori perfetti. E allora è sotto attacco l'identità nazionale, è sotto attacco l'identità religiosa, è sotto attacco l'identità di genere, è sotto attacco l'identità familiare. Non devo potermi definire italiana, cristiana, donna, madre, no. Io devo essere cittadino X, genere X, genitore 1, genitore 2, devo essere un numero. Perché quando sarò solamente un numero, quando non avrò più un'identità, quando non avrò più radici, beh, allora sarò lo schiavo perfetto in balia della grande speculazione
All right,
finanziaria.
can you pause it for a second?
Yeah, man.
So I like this because she is pointing out a lot of things that are really happening with the left, whether people realize it or not. And communism has always hated the family, right? And so for an egalitarian, as far as you want to take it, the egalitarian is going to, like, it can't be in favor of the family, because if you're thinking about it, you understand that different families have different values. And so if you want to have a truly horizontal, equal society, like, you need everyone to be raised the same. But she's kind of conflating different things here, where the gender stuff is different than everything else she's talking about. Like, they're not like, they're trying to undermine the family. They're trying to undermine the national identity. But with gender, it's more like they're trying to change what that means entirely. But I guess it's also like you can be born at, I don't know. Like, it's a little weird to lump them in together.
Yeah, I think it is slightly different. You're right, but I think it does speak to how a lot of people are feeling these days, and she's clearly going for emotion here and not like perfect like precision on like how things are relevant to each other. I don't know. Like overall, love the speech. And it's interesting to see a world leader actually talking like this again.
I just like to see a major European country, like one with a really strong GDP kind of thing, like pushing back against the WEF.
Yes.
And she seems a lot smarter than Trump.
Except she's also partially bought off by him, it seems.
Oh, really?
How's that?
I'm gonna drop you a link.
Cool.
This was a Twitter status that I noticed. I saw this come out the other day. I haven't looked too deep, but her pushing the digital green certificates for basically COVID passports in Europe.
Interesting. That's not great. Well, while you find that link, let's finish this video.
I dropped it in the private chat.
E questa è la ragione per la quale oggi noi facciamo tanta paura. Questa è la ragione per la quale oggi questo appuntamento fa tanta paura. Perché noi non vogliamo essere dei numeri, noi siamo qui per dire che noi non siamo dei numeri, noi difenderemo il valore della persona umana, di ogni singola persona umana, perché ognuno di noi ha un codice genetico unico e irripetibile. E questo, piaccia o no, ha del sacro. Lo difenderemo Dio, la patria e la famiglia, che fanno tanto schifo a qualcuno. Lo faremo per difendere la nostra libertà, perché noi non saremo mai schiavi e semplici consumatori in balia della speculazione finanziaria. Ecco la nostra missione, ecco perché oggi sono venuta qui. Scriveva Chesterton ormai più di un secolo fa. Vediamo se lo trovo.
I always get nervous.
Fuochi verranno affissati per dimostrare che 2 più 2 fa 4. Spade verranno sguainate per dimostrare che le foglie sono verdi in estate. Quel tempo è arrivato, signori. Siamo pronti. Grazie.
It's so good. What was something that I was going to talk about? Oh yeah, I just wanted the crowd to start saying "In the Fed." In the Fed. Let's see. What do you got here, Nick?
Do you think she gets the central banking problem? Because she does talk about being like slaves to financial speculators, which is what that sounds like to me.
Yeah, I don't think she. I mean, I don't know. I don't think she fully understands everything she's saying, to be honest.
And then right now we have, that interesting thing where you have the euro is trading under the dollar for the first time, and who knows?
It's like 20 years.
Hasn't it ever? Yeah, and then the pound's almost at parity also. So,
which I don't think that's ever happened.
Yeah, so things are broken.
Yep. All right. This is from Nick.
Penso ad esempio al tema del certificato verde digitale. Siamo stati i primi a sostenerlo, ci auguriamo che venga adottato il prima possibile in un orizzonte di totale reciprocità con tutti gli altri stati europei. È una priorità ed è fondamentale per ripristinare la libertà di circolazione e far ripartire soprattutto il turismo. Io voglio ovviamente salutare, e vado alla conclusione, i rappresentanti delle professioni sanitarie. Come sapete, Fratelli d'Italia è stata favorevole allo scudo penale per i sanitari, i medici e per tutti i vaccinatori. Penso ad esempio al
Well, that's not great.
So she says green, but it sounds like it's more of a COVID passport. Than,
the digital green certificate was the European COVID passport.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what it was referred to over there.
So Italy was, if y'all remember, like the first country outside of China that got fucked by COVID, right? Like, remember back like early March, they're the ones getting like, and they had it bad. But yeah, that's But
if you look,
now I don't know what to think of this lady.
If you scroll down on the tweet, it gives a little bit further context, which is it's saying April 2018 in favor of letting scientific community mandate vaccines before tweet was deleted. July 2021 described them as Orwellian and unconstitutional. April 2021, Hope's digital green certificates are imposed across Europe. So it's like, so yeah, okay, those dates are in a weird order, but it was like, yes, good, over the couple years, and then only in July 2021, saying that they're
what?
that they're a problem. So
wait, she
it's
goes
like,
from. Oh, they are they're the latest one's in the middle. That's weird. But
yeah.
okay. So she wanted to be able to mandate vaccines in 2018, but then the tweet was deleted. Then in April of 21, she wants the vaccine passport, but then in July of that same year, so April, May, June, like 3 months later, she's describing it as Orwellian. So starting to say the Fed is trying to kill their currency. Well, they shouldn't have had a central bank to begin with. That's their problem.
But
that's a good thing, man. That's good.
I think that's true, though. And I mean, what is it? The whole milkshake theory thing, where the strongest asset will be the reserve. The reserve currency will turn into the strongest asset, and I think that might be what I've been seeing that around a little bit. I'm not too read up on that whole thing, but
what do you like? Europeans will start trading dollars, or
like the fact that we've been seeing the you have the dollar finally trading above the euro. The pound is down there almost being and the fact that the dollar has been valued less than those, even though it's the reserve asset. This is kind of potentially that flipping point where the dollar goes above because it's the reserve asset and all the other stuff starts to fall apart. I'm not super
interesting.
It's things I'm picked up on, but I haven't dug into yet.
Gotcha. This Bologna, Italy thing is
pronounced baloney.
Yeah, so Bologna, Italy rolled out
discounted bus passes, free crypto if you prove you recycle and reduce your carbon emissions.
And by crypto, I'm guessing he doesn't mean Bitcoin. He probably means trash tokens.
Anything but Bitcoin.
Do y'all listen to Tom Woods?
Yes.
A little bit.
Occasionally.
Did you hear he had an episode where he had a guy on who lives in China, and he was saying that the social credit system isn't a thing there.
What? Really?
Yeah, he was saying people keep talking about the social credit system, and I don't even know what they're talking about, but I haven't interacted with it. And I think he said he lives in Shanghai or something. Like, it was a city I'd heard of.
Do you think it's something that they would be aware of? Like, did they dive into what it was? Like, I don't know if you're like mass brainwashing a country, are you going to know you're on a social credit system?
Well, I mean, the guy was
an American.
He was an American that lived that was an expat in China.
I got
who is aware of Tom Woods and reached out to him.
Right.
So that's a particular type of person. So I don't know. That was interesting.
Could just be fear mongering from our government and media, just to get us to think China's a big scary place.
Apparently, the Uyghur genocide thing isn't actually happening either. So
I'm pretty sure that's actually happening.
Listen to Scott Horton go on.
Scott Horton says it's not. Caitlin Johnson says it's not, but she's a China apologist. But there's a Libertarian Institute video called Crime of the Century ? And what they were saying is that every story on it traces back to there's a Scientology type religion in China, and it all traces back to that. And they're saying, I think that what they're saying that the Uyghur genocide actually is that all they did, which is still bad, is they started imposing the child limit policies that they were imposing on Chinese citizens to the Uyghurs as well.
And I think they were dealing with some I guess some the Uyghurs were intertwining with other Muslims that are fleeing from the Middle East and stuff. So they were dealing with some extremists,
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that kind
Probably
of thing.
some CIA funding in there.
Yeah,
and-
probably. That's
I think
when in
Kim-
doubt,
Kim
assume
Iverson
this
has
guy
reported-
is funding them.
Kim Iverson's just reported on this too, where she's like, if the Uyghur camps exist, we should be able to see them on satellite. And I think Kim Iverson's a really solid journalist.
For sure. There
Cap-
was a video of like Scott Horton and Spike Cohen debating the genocide, and
Really?
Where's
Yeah,
it? Do you have a link to it?
I think it was gone. I think it was scrubbed off the internet. Scott got angry.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Hey,
Yeah.
Cap, do you have a link to that video you were just talking about?
The one from the Libertarian Institute's like an hour and a half long.
Do y'all want to sit here for an hour and a half and watch that together?
I can find the Kim Iverson video.
Yeah, find that for me. Let's see. Stephen Hilton's just full of great information tonight. British pound also almost collapsed in the mid-90s.
I gotta remember how to spell Uyghur.
Right.
Soros shorted it hard on the Forex markets. Interesting. Of course Soros did that.
That story came back up with the collapse of. I remember people talking about that, talking about the Terra Luna collapse and stuff like that.
Collapse.
Yeah.
That
What?
dumb.
Yeah.
Terra Luna guy. What was that dude's name? That CEO of that company. That dude's a dummy.
Yeah. Well, now he has an Interpol warrant out for his arrest
Good.
as of like yesterday.
He was warned by like dozens and dozens of people that this would happen, and it happened, and it was because he ignored everybody.
Who is this?
The guy who invented Luna, the crypto.
Oh.
Dummy.
Yeah.
So you guys like y'all are into crypto a little bit more than me. Are y'all basically like Bitcoin's the answer, or all the other cryptos?
Bitcoin Maxi.
Yeah,
Yep.
Bitcoin Maxi, and then I dabble with the other stuff just for a quick buck. Like not for any long term.
I have some I have like 5 or 6 other cryptos, because when I first got into it, I was just like, okay, crypto can replace the Fed, and then I remember thinking like we could have like we had bimetallism with gold and silver at the same time. I was thinking like, okay, well, Bitcoin can be bigger purchases, and something like Ethereum can be smaller purchases. And then I read Saifedean's The Bitcoin Standard and was like,
yeah,
okay, I buy this.
Yeah.
So is Ethereum ever coming back?
No.
Should I dump my
Dump it.
I already dumped my Ethereum for Bitcoin a while ago. Did it tank?
Oh yeah, no, it's tanking hard, and it's gonna get even worse. As soon as I saw that Vitalik was going and meeting with all the central banks around the world, I was like, oh well, that thing's screwed. Like it's over. Like why? I don't understand why people kept getting on board with Ethereum.
And
well,
I'm a little bit out of the loop on the on the news with Ethereum. But my understanding is
1300.
But my understanding is with the merge, you were supposed to be able to withdraw your stake, and they didn't bother writing in the ability to withdraw your stake at the merge. So everyone's still locked up in their staking.
I did that. I like $100 in Ethereum. I just kind of did it from I converted it from a bunch of the free coins that Coinbase was throwing at me.
I think I had like 7 Ethereum at one point, and then I converted 6 of it to Bitcoin.
Yeah, I think we had like 13 Ethereum at one point, and ditch that.
Yeah. Well, I staked it on that Ethereum 2 thing, and
I did that with a few.
Yeah.
I don't even know how proof of stake works. I haven't.
It's basically fiat for crypto.
Yes, proof of stake is dumb. Everybody says it's the answer, but it's only the answer to using less energy, which isn't the answer to anything.
Well, it means big stack gets the higher saying, gets the higher rewards, right? I mean,
that too. I'm just saying,
same thing is
they're saying it takes less energy to mine Ethereum than it does Bitcoin, because it's proof of stake, not proof of work, and proof of work takes a lot more energy. And that's like their whole thing with trying to kill Bitcoin is it's terrible for the environment, but it's not.
I mean, the energy requirement is in a way it's what it's backed by.
Yes.
you can say it's backed by scarcity, which is kind of a weird thing to say, but like in the end, it's backed by energy usage.
Yeah, which is the same as gold. Like it's the exact same premise with gold. Is like in order to mine more gold, you have to expend a whole bunch of energy.
In order to transfer gold, you have to expend energy.
There you go. And so like it's really difficult for gold to go up and down like, the dollar does. And all the stocks and crap like that.
As for Stephen Hilton's question, I have no idea, but it would not surprise me if when and if the Fed decides to do a CBDC, that they call in some of these shitcoin companies to help them with it.
Yeah, Stephen, I definitely think it is. Like I think the fact that Vitalik's been meeting with all these central banks is a clear indication that that's what's going to happen.
Either that or Cardano, because I know Hodgkinson's been shilling it out to African countries and stuff like that. So I don't know if they're going to make a play for it also.
Oh, I forgot I had Cardano. God, that was worthless.
I'm still holding a little bit of that shit just to see what happens. I don't know.
I've got some Monero. That one's neat.
Monero's okay. There was no pre-mine.
I prefer THC over the CBD. So
say we all.
Sorry, all my powers just went out for this room, so give me a second. Y'all can keep chatting.
Fun. Yeah, so let's see. Steven says Vitalik Buterin spent a few months with Putin a few years ago showing him how to run his essential government services on an AI-backed blockchain. Yeah.
Interesting.
All right, I'm back. Sorry.
So Saifedean always likes to talk about how the only use for blockchain is Bitcoin. And he recently had an episode where he liked the use of blockchain for, I believe it was Tether, something that was basically used for sending dollars abroad. Like I don't know. I keep trying to get his opinion on this, but he never fucking replies to me on Twitter or anything. But like, is Odyssey or Library not also a good use of blockchain to make like basically uncensorable content?
Yes.
Like that seems like a totally legit use of blockchain to me.
Absolutely.
Like it's a lot of energy, sure.
It's a lot of energy, and it has way more restrictions, and like that they're gonna have to figure out, because like just to be able to upload a video is like you have to get the bit rate down below 3 megabytes a second, which if you export video, that's terrible. I generally do mine at around 50.
Right.
So like the quality of video on there is not going to be as good, at least not for a while, until like compression gets better than it is right now. Steven just is a wealth of knowledge tonight, y'all. That's crazy.
Here's go showing how to run his essential government. Wow.
Yeah.
So they were backing the ruble with gold or something. And then I keep seeing like, oh, people are going to start trading oil and Bitcoin, and then it never seems to actually happen.
I didn't even know that was a possibility. I don't think we can watch this whole thing, but
yeah, it's really long.
46 minutes long.
Oh man, is that how long the one I sent? Yeah, I don't even think I watched that whole thing.
Should we just watch the very beginning?
I don't know. We can.
No, not worth it.
Just take her word for it. The CIA is telling you about the genocide, and Scott Horton says it's untrue. So.
I'm inclined to believe Scott Horton, but I need to dig into it some more.
No, I feel you, bro.
I basically just take Scott Horton's word on anything.
Yeah.
Stephen and Mary Beth are chatting from room to room right now through our chat.
Libertarian love connection.
I love it. Anyway, if y'all are interested in watching this video, go search that on YouTube.
You just go to Kim's channel and type in Uyghur.
Yeah.
With a Y, not an I.
I'm just gonna give her give her a sub real quick. There we go.
She's good. And dude, it was a fucking, like, when she didn't get, she was at the Hill for a while, and then the Hill got an interview with Fauci, and they didn't let her on it, and she was like, I'm out of here. Like the next day or whatever, she left the Hill. That was based as fuck.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then she released this video, and she was like, look, when I agreed to join the Hill, I basically was like, you're not going to censor me. I'm going to get to say what I want. And then basically, like, they used to have these COVID videos all the time on Rising with her and fucking Robbie Suave from Reason Magazine, where she is the better libertarian than the libertarian, basically. Like, good God. Robbie's good on some stuff, but fuck is he blue-pilled. And Kim Iverson is just schooling him, and I don't know, the fucking bespectacled host, I don't remember what his name is, but
I love that you use the word bespectacled. Amazing. How many times do you get referred to as bespectacled, Will?
Never, but I would take that.
Sounds so proper.
Yeah, I don't know. She's awesome.
I'm trying to think of that dude's name too. He's very boring.
Yeah, he's a big scoop of vanilla ice cream.
Yeah.
There is something about people who just like stand for their principles and literally can't be bought. Like that's why I love Tim Pool so much. Like like once they wouldn't let him do what he wanted to do, he was like, I don't need this. Like I'll go make my own empire.
Yeah.
And, Crystal and Sagar, they're not the best as far as politics, but hey, they quit and went and made their own show, which is much better than the Hill.
Yeah, I don't watch them much, but
I don't either. But I watched
the first talks about them. Joe Rogan likes him, apparently.
Yeah, Rogan. He's a very, 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 very light libertarian kind of guy, but he's not libertarian.
Rogan's kind of like why I got into libertarianism in the first place.
Okay.
I mean, many, many years ago, it was kind of like Jon Stewart and Joe Rogan mentioning Ron Paul. They kind of like got Ron Paul in my head and made me finally go like, well, who the fuck is this old dude? And,
wow.
Interesting.
And then like, by the time 2012 election came around, I was full force like Ron Paul guy. So I mean,
nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Rogan can be a little, I don't know, just like when he gets on cops and soldiers and stuff, he'll get a little rah America for my taste. But
you think he'd be more red-pilled than he is because he's deep into the conspiracy shit?
Yeah.
But then he'll still he very much believes in the system.
Well, and I think it's also a product, like, this is going to sound really weird, but he has on so many lefties on his show.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a product of that because he seems like a super empathetic dude who can really feel like how people think and how they're feeling. And there's something about compassion and empathy that will hold you up in your path to like finding liberty and I mean, in my opinion, anarchism. So
he's a very good everyman. Like if you want to, like, he tends to actually understand how the average person thinks. Well, a whole lot better than like Tom Woods or Dave Smith do, because they're just way too fucking deep into it at this point. To where like, I don't know, the longer you've been red-pilled, the harder it is to think like a blue-pilled person.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rogan did have a little bit of Bernie sympathies there for a while. While.
Bernie
he did vote for Joe Jorgensen, even though he wouldn't let her on his show.
Yeah.
Did he really?
Because she's the most, like, can you imagine a 3-hour-long conversation with Joe Jorgensen?
Oh my God. I started watching that David interview with her because my wife wanted to see it. She actually, like, we were watching the debates in 2020, and she actually liked Joe the best because honestly, Joe kicked Hornberger's ass in those debates.
Yes.
Yeah, Hornberger clowned on himself. But goddamn, we got like 15 minutes into it, and it was like I was already like literally falling asleep, and she's like, I can't watch this anymore.
LPNH appreciates the LPGA retweets, y'all.
You are welcome, Reed.
Yeah.
My boy.
We caught some shit for liking your Happy Holidays tweet. That was Will. Yeah. I saw that one. Laugh.
I always got reads back, no matter how deep down a rabbit hole goes.
There's
it was too good to not like. I mean, come on. And people getting upset over likes is freaking ridiculous.
I actually retweeted it after old girl started complaining. That's what really girl.
I see some shit that other libertarians like, and I roll my eyes at it. I don't throw a fit, but I always roll my eyes at it.
I roll my eyes at almost everything.
Start supporting NATO. That's the kind of shit that I get pissy at. Where they're just, what was that one dude that was just like the non-aggression principle is basically like NATO falls under the non-aggression principle.
Who was that?
That was one of the dumbest things. Oh my gosh.
Was that what's his name? Yeah. Was that the former Pennsylvania executive director?
Yeah. Josh Eagle.
Oh, no.
I think that's
There's been a couple people who've been on it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's miserable.
That's the only kind of shit that I want to run out of the.
There we go. Urkel.
That's the shit I want to run out of the party.
Urkel's a good name for that guy.
It's those guys that just like smooze up with the power.
You're going to apologize for NATO? Are you kidding me? Like,
what I don't understand is how the blue pill libertarians get so deep into this and not come to the Mises red pill side. Like, I was blue pill libertarian from like 2012 up through probably like 2018 until I saw Larry Sharp on a Dave Smith's podcast. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Libertarian podcast. I'll listen to this a little bit. And after like 3 or 4 episodes, I'm like reading Anatomy of the State. And like, I'm like fucking like, I couldn't make heads or tails of the whole fucking Russiagate thing because I was subscribed to both Our Politics and the Donald. And they were just saying completely different things. And so I had no idea what the fuck was going on. And then he basically walks you through it over like, that was peak Dave Smith, basically before he had kids and while Russiagate was happening.
That is peak Dave Smith right there. I feel you, man.
And that shit fucking, that red pilled me and my wife. And we're just saying like, oh, they don't have shit. They just hate Donald Trump. Oh, Trump is just, he's the same fucking guy he was when he was on The Apprentice. Like, I remember reading that Washington Post article in 2016 that had like 100 real Donald Trump quotes that's made to paint him like this authoritarian fascist and just being like, well, fuck, Hillary Clinton needs to win.
Right. Yeah, no, it's some weird stuff, man. In case y'all didn't know, again, Divide and Dominate coming out next week. In fact, we're just going to go ahead and watch the trailer real quick because I'm very proud of the trailer. I think it's awesome, and you should too.
If you can't question authority in America, you do not have freedom. We're not failing in this country because the government isn't doing enough. We're failing in this country because the government's doing too much.
What's happening?
However many million people are in Georgia, but you should only be able to choose from 2 people for governor, 2 people for Senate. It's complete and utter nonsense.
The whole banking system's a sham.
The Federal Reserve controls our monetary supply. They have destroyed our currency.
Abrams doesn't understand anything about this. Kemp sold out long, long ago. There's one person in this race that understands freedom.
First, they ignore you. Then they laugh at you. Then they fight you. And then you win.
We have got a blaze that is spreading across this nation right now, and all we got to do is push it in the right direction.
I mean, come on. Is that not a good trailer?
That's a good trailer.
I like it, man. I like it.
Hey, Mr. Cody Robinson. How you doing? He was just on the Free Georgia podcast this past week talking about vaccine injuries and all sorts of stuff. We got into a bunch of stuff.
Although I say every episode you do is a good episode, so
yeah, I don't really trust your opinion at this point. Next week, I just interviewed Brad Binkley from Propaganda Report, so that'll be coming out on. Well, you can watch it on YouTube and Rumble on Monday, and it'll come out on everything else on Tuesday morning. Great one. I mean, it's almost a guarantee at this point that our YouTube channel is going to get banned. So enjoy this while it lasts.
Your title was pretty funny on that one too, because I saw it pre-scheduled already on the YouTube feed.
Oh yeah,
yeah. What was it?
Don't make fun of Stacey Abrams. She's a victim.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on, back up. Who said that?
That's the title of my next Free Georgia podcast episode. Or don't be mean to Stacey Abrams. She's a victim.
The idea that she's a victim is so.
That's what she plays. Like we were talking about identity politics earlier, and actually here's a that Italian prime minister. Here's Stacey Abrams just playing to identity politics and nothing else. You don't even need the sound for this.
Oh, I replied to this without even watching the video.
It's freaking stupid. It's
like
bunch of white dudes from Georgia have been governor since its existence. Oh darn. Like all she does is play identity politics, and she says it's unprecedented and once in a generation opportunity to make progress. Like shut your mouth. Like, none of that makes any sense. You're just you're not playing to people's good, you're not playing to good emotions. You're only playing to negative emotions. And the more we live in fear, the more well-off people like Stacey Abrams are.
I replied to that with the LP Georgia account. If you scroll down, it might come up. But
oh yeah,
yeah. I don't know. If
oh wait, no,
likes
there it is. There it is.
We can't see it. Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Bringing it back.
All right, 11 likes. That's a banger.
Woo!
All right, we got an idiot replying. Privatization of government. I mean, okay, I guess from your perspective, that might.
People harmed most.
Whatever the government does, it should be doing, right? They wouldn't do it unless it was necessary.
This last part is the exact opposite of what libertarianism does. People harmed most are those economically and socially disadvantaged. No, that's not true at all. They're harmed by idiotic government policies that destroy their money, destroy their social lives, and there's no.
That's the left-winger worldview, is that you can only disagree with them because you're either greedy or evil or bought off, something like that, right? Because you have to if you don't care about poor people, you have to support welfare, because they just they think of in terms the left is very good at identifying problems. I will give them that. The right likes to close their eyes, plug their ears, and no. Corporations are good. Whereas the left will be like, no, this is fucking bullshit. But then their solution is just the government should write something on paper, and then that will they don't really even think through a solution. They just here's the problem, so government fix it.
It's true.
Honestly, they don't even feel like they have to argue past that there's a problem, right? If you talk to your basic shit lib or whatever, they'll just feel like, well, people do still get discriminated in the workplace for being gay, and it's like, okay, I'm not denying that happens. Now explain to me how government fixes that.
Right. Yep. Sorry.
No, we got a long way to go from deprogramming people's brains.
It's really hard.
Yeah,
it's so difficult. Just thinking about how long it took me to get deprogrammed, because I grew up George Bush Republican. My house in Dallas was 10 streets over from his, so we would see him around. And
first time I voted was for W.
Yep.
Proudly.
Me too. I went to his rallies in Dallas. It was bizarre. And now I just now this year threw away my old George W. Bush sticker that I had. I had a bumper sticker, and I
had that W sticker.
Yeah, I kept it just to remind myself how stupid I was.
I took it. I threw it away when I went to college because I heard college was liberal and I didn't want someone keying my car.
Smart.
That's just logical. But yeah, man, like it took me forever to get here. Like I was a Bernie bro for a little while because I went to SCAD, where I just got meleeed by socialist dum-dums. Like
what was your entryway into libertarian thought?
So once I realized Bernie Sanders had no idea how economics worked, I went back to being a Republican and started listening to Crowder, watching a lot of that. Then went into Ben Shapiro, who then got me into, I can't remember. There was something in between Shapiro and Dave Smith, but ultimately I found Dave Smith. And
what made you realize Bernie doesn't know anything about economics?
As soon as I started learning about economics.
Okay. Yeah.
Like you pick up one book and read anything about economics and you're like, none of these things that he proposes can happen without destroying a whole group of people. It just made no sense. Like it made no sense at all. And yeah, he just proposes spending more and more and more and more and more money, which is impossible. Let's see.
There's something refreshing though about Bernie, that he's honest. You know, like Republicans will spend like 3/4 of what he would propose to spend, but then they'll still play to our fiscal responsibility and stuff. But just complete, just
Stephen, that is an unhinged conspiracy theory that will get us kicked
coming.
off YouTube.
Let's ruin this channel.
That sounds like the big lie to me.
But Will, you're totally right. Like he's honest, and my in-laws on my brother's side, they live down the street from Bernie, and they say he's like just the most normal guy. They said they've been in the grocery store when he's been in there, and he'll go to the cash register with like some fruit that's bruised and be like, "Can I get a discount on this fruit?"
Oh my God.
It's one of the funniest stories. Oh my gosh. It's like, yeah,
I feel like there's a stereotype.
I'm not.
That.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Oh.
Look, I've watched a lot of Seinfeld.
It's fair. As you should, as everyone should. Seinfeld sticks around, man. That's still a great show.
It's still good.
Yeah.
Although now that I'm older, I can tell the last 2 seasons without Larry David, there's a drop off in quality in this. Like it's funny because it's like a lot of the most memorable moments, but it's really just goofy at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it does get goofy in the last couple seasons. And like, what'd you think of the ending? Did you like the finale?
I don't think I've rewatched it since 6th grade.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I've rewatched it
which would have been when it was live. I remember thinking it was fine. I don't know.
I loved the ending.
You get a parade of all the famous like a lot of the characters you want to see again, and then they go to jail for some stupid thing, and it's just kind of like, okay, what else are you gonna do? It's a show about nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the ending was about something.
Yeah, and they go to jail for just being assholes, basically.
Yeah.
I remember
now, as a libertarian, I'm outraged.
But like never watching, like the last episode might have been the first episode of Seinfeld I ever watched. Like
I hadn't watched a lot
started
of it
from the end.
Well, I just was a kid, and I remember it like being hyped up, like the last episode. I just caught it on TV.
I had just started watching it. Like I remember the episode before is the one where he's in the Puerto Rico parade, and he's stuck competing with the maroon golf the whole episode.
Yeah. Who won't wear the ribbon?
And now I drive a Golf.
You drive a Golf?
I have a Golf.
That's
GTI.
hilarious.
It's a fucking dope ass car.
All right.
Stick shift.
In the spirit of Seinfeld and like maybe like some Rand Paul energy, I think libertarians need the airing of grievances thing. Maybe like
that Rand is great.
We need to do it within our circles though.
Like, we need art.
I think we should do it at
really
convention.
True.
There you go. Yeah, like just rent one room.
Yes.
It can be like the pole in the middle of the room, and anybody can watch, and any 2 libertarians can like come in there and like bury the hatchet.
Yeah, there's a sign-up sheet. Like, yeah. Yeah, I like this
Try to
idea.
settle some of these blood feuds that were forming.
Yeah, I think everybody should pack into the room at the end of the convention and just scream at each other for like 10 minutes. Everybody just get everything out, and then we all move on.
Then we got a hug.
New tradition.
I think that's a great tradition.
New rule. You can only wear a cowboy hat if you're from Wyoming or Texas.
Every day is the airing of grievances for.
I will go put one on right now.
That is fucking
Nick,
true.
do not go put one on. You're not allowed.
You're not allowed.
Of this group, I'm the only one who is allowed.
I would say you got to be a cowboy, a legit cowboy or country singer. That's my standard.
Oh, yeah, okay. Tennessee's also acceptable. MBH, I'm going to start calling you MBH. She's getting towards the... It's not Adman.
I'm partial to Kramer's latest work.
Yeah, we're going to get banned. Got one more video. It's the freaking New Zealand PM.
Oh, this fucking bitch.
We launched an initiative alongside companies and nonprofits to help improve research and understanding of how a person's online experiences are curated by automated processes. This will also be important in understanding more about mis and disinformation online, a challenge that we must, as leaders, address. Sadly, I think it's easy to dismiss this problem as one in the margins. I can certainly understand the desire to leave it to someone else. As leaders, we're rightly concerned that even the most light touch approaches to disinformation could be misinterpreted as being hostile to the values of free speech that we value so highly. But while I cannot tell you today what the answer is to this challenge, I can say with complete certainty that we cannot ignore it. To do so poses an equal threat to the norms we all value. After all, how do you successfully end a war if people are led to believe the reason for its existence is not only legal but noble? How do you tackle climate change if people do not believe it exists? How do you ensure the human rights of others are upheld when they are subjected to hateful and dangerous rhetoric and ideology?
Pause.
I was waiting for that.
Fucking shit! You cannot talk about civil rights, lady, or human rights, or whatever the fuck you were just talking about. God damn it. Okay, you can keep playing, but fuck!
It may be different, but the goals of those who perpetuate them is often the same: to cause chaos and reduce the ability of others to defend themselves, to disband communities, to collapse the collective strength of countries who work together. But we have an opportunity here to ensure that these particular weapons of war do not become an established part of warfare.
Yeah, she's calling hateful speech online a weapon of war.
Yeah, well, she's
this
a sheep.
Is why
fucker,
we
so.
have to be hateful online. I'm a big proponent of just like spewing hatred and anything we can until they make like.
I mean, this whole speech is batshit crazy.
I just want to say, I absolutely love the Kiwi accent.
That's fair. That's fair. Have you been to New Zealand?
Ever since Fly the Conchords, it's just every time I hear a Kiwi talk, it's just delightful.
That's all I think of when I
these weapons of war.
Yeah,
I can't believe that show only lasted 2 seasons.
I'm glad it
makes
did.
it hard
Anything
to
that goes
take.
past 2 or 3 seasons turns into shit.
No,
it's such a ridiculous accent that I can't believe anyone takes any of the sheep fuckers seriously.
MBH, it's another hateful conspiracy theory that we can't have on the channel.
I love it. I love it.
They may or may not be reminiscent of a horse.
I detest it.
I detest it. The misinformation and the misinformation. All right, I did look up the difference. According to dictionary.com,
I know the difference.
Misinformation is false information that is spread regardless of intent.
Correct.
And disinformation is false information disseminated by a government or intelligence agency as a hostile act of tactical political subversion. So the biggest disinformation organization in the entire world is the CIA.
Yes, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Like, without question. Maybe the CDC. We can.
I would argue that there's not one single human who would ever be on that list in the top, I don't know, 1,000 that propagate mis and disinformation. It's all governments and government entities.
Now, misinformation, I've been known to spread.
Okay, I guess disinformation.
It turns out that the kid from the Wonder Years is in fact not Marilyn Manson.
What? Man.
Oh my gosh. What do you think? Do you think she's a paid actor? Kind of like
Jacinda Ardern? Well, she's another one of those young global leaders.
Yeah, I mean,
I've seen her on The Lord of the Rings. She's a paid actor.
who's the Zelensky? That was the other guy. He's actually an actor.
He's actually an actor, yeah. So is Ronald Reagan.
What is this in regards to, Mary Beth?
MBH says WTF.
Yeah, that could be literally anything we've been talking about. So, yeah, we've been going for an hour. Anybody want to keep going, or anybody want to leave?
I'm good until I run out of wine.
Cool. Well, if we're gonna keep going, I'm getting a whiskey, so y'all keep talking.
All right.
So what's our LP Georgia Twitter account goals for next week, fellas? Anything y'all want to tackle?
I just tweet stuff as I have ideas.
Yeah, I want everybody to know that's like, all right, if the tweets are kind of right wing, it's Cap's fault. If it's a shit poster, it's kind of my fault. Like,
you can probably tell our tweets apart just by like how we format them.
Yeah.
Yes, I can.
If there are large line breaks, it's me.
And based on what each of y'all are attacking. I generally know who to go to first when I'm getting yelled at behind the scenes.
Plus one of you has the habit of creating long threads.
Who could that possibly be? You know,
man. What do y'all think of this Nord Stream stuff?
I haven't looked into it much, but I'm certain that Russia did it.
Dude, it's been really interesting. Timcast.
Yeah.
I was watching Timcasts before we got on, and there have been some very interesting developments. They're seriously threatening dropping nukes near their own border.
Jesus Christ!
It's getting really weird over there. And
well, you saw that the State Department ordered all American citizens out of Russia.
That's what I was about to
say. Which is always the sort of.
Do you think Brittany Griner's going to leave?
Well, the problem now is that Snowden's a citizen, so they got to get him.
Yeah, but I think that him staying there would just be like, oh, yeah, let him die. You know, I mean, that's what they want anyway.
This whole war might be about that, actually. just kill Edward Snowden. You know.
So let's say Russia does drop a nuke. What do you think happens?
It depends on where they drop it.
Let's say they drop it somewhere in Ukraine.
Somewhere in Ukraine.
I threw an article in the chat, Jake.
We hope that America just goes, oh, well, we're done. We're backing up. Because if they don't, it just fucking world ends, I guess.
They can't. Here, the entire American, viewpoint on the world is that, we're the good guys. We need to be in charge. We're the only people that we can trust to be the good guys. Maybe us and the British. And
the Anglo-American establishment.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, we're supposed to hate the Anglo-Americans, culturally and genetically speaking. But when it comes to world policing, they're the only ones we can trust. And so the idea, you see this all the time on fucking Twitter. You just fucking talk to your shitlib friends or you're just your boomercon parents. Just fucking we can't back down. We can't show weakness. If Russia launches a nuke, we got to launch 2 nukes kind of shit.
Yeah.
And I fucking get it because I used to be in that headspace. You play a bunch of fucking Call of Duty, you watch Saving Private Ryan, like it's just fucking you just watch fucking the fantastic Mission Impossible movies. Like you just this idea that like the world would go to shit if we weren't policing it.
Yeah, no, I get that whole mindset too. You know, growing up a Republican.
That's the biggest thing we as libertarian, content creators or whatever have to do to the American people is break that mentality that we are going to save the world, because that's where all the evil that our country does comes from.
Can I read y'all something real quick?
Yeah.
All right. So I've got a group of friends I have a Slack with, which Slack is like Discord, but without the voice chat, but better in every other aspect. And I posted that that video that Will that you tweeted out. The Dave Smith breaks down some reasons to invade for Russia to invade Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got one of my shitlib friends to watch it, and this guy, like he'll watch a lot of my videos, but like he'll hear me out a lot, and I like him for that. And he's a close friend, but so like his reaction was didn't hate it. I think he does a good job of pointing out why it's complicated, the history in Ukraine, and why Russia would feel as compelled to try to do something about it, while still saying Russia should not have invaded. Sure. And then I asked him what he thought of the Gideon Rose interview, and he says, I think it's a good perspective. We wanted Ukraine to fall on the side of democracy / pro-West, but didn't want to make it so bad that Putin got pissed. Delicate balance. I think the girlfriend analogy was really good. I think Dave's primary purpose was to remind us that this didn't start the day they invaded. This is a rolling boil that's been going a long time, and I think he's right. Ukraine seemed to me to be a huge political pawn. They probably chose right, leaning for the prosperity of their people from a political perspective, but that route has caused much more chaos because it's pissed off their largest neighbor and now rival. From the U.S. perspective, we're big winners here, but we have a shit stir in Russia's backyard. We have a shit stir in Russia's backyard, an ever-growing NATO, incredible insulation with our only neighbors being sleepy allies, while Ukraine takes all the lumps and Russia sees that NATO advances. So all we have to do to keep this going is send billions of dollars of war equipment, small price to pay, if the political objective is to continue to slow Russian power / influence. So it's just like, I don't know if y'all got that from me reading it, because I have been drinking. I'm now 2 glasses deep in wine, and I haven't been drinking a lot in the last few months. But it's just kind of it's like he accepts everything that Dave said in that video is true, right? He's not calling him a liar. He's not calling him spreading misinformation like that one fucking jackass on Twitter. But he's just like, I agree with Gideon Rose. Yeah, it's like it's the empire mentality. I don't know what else to call that. And I don't know where to go from there, because we have different values.
And it's also fear of not perpetuating it. So like it's fear of like what happens once we stop it. It's not like once we stop doing what we're doing, like what fills that vacuum, because something will fill it. And like the unknown always scares the crap out of people. Like, I mean, it scares the crap out of everybody. So like it's a bunch of different things. It's not just one thing or another, like it can be both at the same time.
We need aliens to come down and so the military can just focus outwardly, from the world itself. That's the only thing that's going to stop them people.
I like that, Will. Let's make that happen.
Watchmen plot line, let's make a fake monster kill New York City. Oh, we're already coming up with good ideas.
Nick, what is this you shared with me?
Okay, so I want to so this is from June 14th, 2022. Experimentation was conducted off the coast of Denmark, which happens to be the same exact island location where off the coast the Nord Stream pipeline was damaged and blown up. So where the explosions that damaged the pipeline. So here's reports of U.S. military activity from back in June in the exact same region as the damage to the Nord Stream pipeline. I'm not saying anything, but I'm kind of saying that kind of looks a little suspicious to me, right? What you're talking about brings the latest advancements in unmanned underwater vehicle mine hunting technology to the Baltic Sea to demonstrate the vehicle's effectiveness. So we're talking about them showing off equipment in this that is used in explosive stuff somewhere in the same region that this pipeline was sabotaged.
Yep. Was it Dave's pod? No, I think it was Timcast who was saying that back in like February, Biden said that if Putin started a war in Ukraine, there would be no Nord Stream anymore.
And Steven says jet fuel can't melt the Nord Stream.
That's so good.
But then if you look, I dropped another tweet in there, and that's an interesting one to see.
All right, let me pull it up.
Because I don't know this guy completely, but I know
Jack Posobiec.
Well,
I'm gonna pull it up.
It's not Jack, it's him.
Oh, okay.
So
boom.
Yeah, get it up there. So Radek Sikorski, a member of the European Parliament, you can see here in a now deleted tweet. Thank you, USA, to that. So he is let me get this right. He is married to Anne Applebaum, who is she has worked at The Economist and The Spectator and was a member of the editorial board of The Washington Post, won a Pulitzer Prize, staff writer for The Atlantic, a senior fellow at the Agora Institute at Johns Hopkins
Goodness gracious.
University School of Advanced International Studies, and all tied in with like the war party establishment. So you can see I'm just scrolling her Wikipedia positions, anti-Russia since the 90s, just basically every sort of like tied in with the war establishment. You can see I thought she may have held some positions also, but we're talking about someone who's tied in here, married to a member of the European Parliament, and said member of European Parliament's tweeting out thank you to the US for that one. So that meant we have opportunity and things going on in that region back in June. I don't know.
So are you saying that he's tweeting out thank you US for destroying that section of pipeline?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why would he do that?
These are the worst lizard people ever.
Yes, because they're absolutely
lazy as fuck. I mean, just.
I think we're all in agreement there.
Yeah.
I love that Jack said, "Did your wife make you delete this just now?"
Isn't Jack he smells like the CIA to me?
Yeah, he was
like a CIA guy.
He was like a spook or something, right?
Yeah.
I don't know that he's CIA, but he's
veteran Navy intel officer.
Yeah,
Jack Posobiec is.
That's what it says on his Twitter.
He's not great. I'll say that.
I was just getting a tweet that was from someone that that we would recognize, that showed
I love it
because this is news to me that tweet was deleted. I saw it the other day when it was posted, but that's even sketchier that it got deleted.
How long before y'all think this kind of speech is going to be the thing that gets you censored? Like we went through elections and COVID and all that kind of shit. When do you think they're going to start dabbling with the war stuff?
As soon as we officially enter the war.
Well, that's the thing. That's when it gets really scary, because they only try to shut you down whenever you're onto something, right?
Yeah.
So if we start seeing, the disinformation about this or that,
CIA warned Germany back in February that Ukraine wanted to destroy the pipeline,
which makes sense too, because also that pipeline routes around the pipelines going through Ukraine.
Yeah.
So I mean, of course, Ukraine doesn't want that pipeline there, because that takes away their ability to control what gets into Europe.
Yeah, I mean, the whole pipeline mess over there is crazy. Like, what the heck is going to go on with energy in in Western Europe this winter. Like, how is that going to prices are going to skyrocket. They're not going to have enough.
What we're going to have to do is start burning more trash to heat the globe to protect Europe.
Sounds like a green nightmare.
No, you want to burn the trash.
Oh, yeah.
Burn your trash.
We have to burn trash. Burn more trash.
Hey, I'm gonna make it a little lighter real quick. Let's watch Alex Stein review a Barstool pizza.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's primetime 99 and Alex Stein for a very special one-bite pizza review of the one, the only Dave Portnoy special. Freaking Barstool pizza alert. Let me tell you something, guys. Dave Portnoy doesn't like me because I'm on the grind all the time, and I call him out because, listen, they got a bunch of degenerate content, but this guy, he's a pizza man. Well, let's see how his pizza tastes, all right? Let's see. Everybody knows the rules. One bite of pizza with multiple sexual assault allegations.
Okay, one bite. We're about to put this in the Presto pizza maker. We're going to see how this bitch is. We're going to see how you is, Dave. We about to rate your ass, dog. One bite. Everybody know the rules. Dog, we're going to put it on there for about 16 minutes. You know we got that pizzazz.
Pizzazz is legit.
I've never seen that kind of pizza.
Okay, now it's done. That's how I like it. Golden, a little crispy.
Oh, yeah. Get a light burn.
What y'all know about that pizzazz plus Presto pizza maker live in the bubbling cheese, Louise?
Y'all got to pizzazz. It's the shit.
Ladies inappropriately, they put one.
He does it exactly like that. That's so funny.
I can taste the tears. The tears are sweet tears of his victims are mixed in with the sauce. And it has a hint of Dave's Adderall. It's kind of like a sweetness of the Adderall. And then on top of that, it's okay. It's not great. I'll eat it all because I'm overweight. But if I had to rate this, I would give a 6.6 sexual allegations out of 10. So, if you want a pizza made by a guy with a bunch of sexual assault allegations, one bite is the pizza for you. Bye, Dave. I'll see you in New York very soon, my friend.
Well, I can't wait for that. That dude's so funny. Like,
Dave Portnoy had a really shitty tweet recently, but I don't remember what it was.
He did. You're right. What was that one?
I don't really know much about Portnoy.
I've been following. I mean, it's his stuff's just mindless crap. Like, Barstool's pretty funny. They do some funny things. But like, if I'm just sitting there on my couch late at night after I ate an edible, I'll just watch a bunch of Dave Portnoy pizza reviews.
Yeah, right on.
They all look delicious, and I'm hungry.
Ooh, Bitcoin is trending.
Not on mine.
Because while all the other currencies are going down, Bitcoin's going up.
Yeah, Bitcoin's doing well. I mean, it's hanging in there way better than any of the other ones.
It's
How's
still got room
Bitcoin
to go
trending
down
for you and not me?
Like, if we actually do hit hyperinflation, Bitcoin will probably go down more.
Yes. The whole world will go down more.
To begin with, right? And then you won't even really be able to express it in dollars. But
yeah. That's my biggest problem with like basing it off, like people buying it off of dollars. It drives me nuts. Like at some point, it's not like the dollar isn't going to correlate at all to
one Bitcoin equals one Bitcoin.
Yeah,
exactly.
Exactly. And like that's kind of what needs to happen. And also what needs to happen is enough with the hodling crap. I hate the hodling stuff. Like, don't just sell your Bitcoin for cash. But if you have Bitcoin and you there's a store in your neighborhood that accepts Bitcoin.
Absolutely.
Go buy stuff with Bitcoin. Like if your grocery store accepts Bitcoin, you got to go buy it with Bitcoin. Otherwise, it's going to die and not be currency.
It can't become the medium of exchange without people exchanging it for goods and services.
Yes.
Do y'all have any places around where y'all live that accept Bitcoin for anything?
I don't know.
No.
It's very difficult to find them, but like there are online places that will. Yeah, I can't.
There's part of me that wants to like take the deep dive and like set up like Bitcoin for my wine and stuff, but it's just like it's such a daunting. Just handling.
Let's talk about it.
Would be good.
Let's talk about it and
Let's
get.
talk
I mean,
about it, well, because it's really not that difficult.
We got to
to
get
do.
you set up with that because having a
We'll get
Bitcoin
you- yeah.
income is nothing.
It would be cool.
Nothing to sneeze at.
But it's like on our online sales right now, like we go through like a third party that does like kind of handles the logistics and
Right.
and stuff
There are
like
third
that.
parties that can do Bitcoin sales.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
I
but
know.
he's saying he doesn't do the fulfillment himself, so like they're not buying from you. They're buying from.
It goes
someone
through
else.
like a thing called Vino Shipper.
But if you do do you do a sales out of your place at all?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So like there's you could just download like the Breeze app and that the Breeze wallet, BREEZ, and you can set up in there you can set up like products in there and stuff like that and have it your own little like point of sale in there and set up like your items, and that way you can just like hit that, set it up as a as you know for Bitcoin. I believe it does Lightning also.
And would it
So,
does
like,
it being like alcohol, like I guess what I'd do is like I'd take the Bitcoin that I earn, convert it back to US dollars, and then pay my taxes on it that way.
I mean, I'm not gonna tell you what to do.
Well, see,
but,
alcohol, we get kind of like Uncle Sam breathes down our necks.
Oh, that is fair.
Do they have a hard count of all of your your production?
Oh yeah, for sure. They
so,
I
but
mean,
if
like
if people came to you and you're and hypothetically, all right, this is all hypothetically, and I'm just musing, and
everything.
Nothing I say should be taken as advice, and you're definitely not going to listen to me. But theoretically, like your Bitcoin sales would not be a very high amount of sales, and I'm sure you lose bottles off the back of a truck or out the back door sometimes. I don't know. So you could just like, hey, I had some bottles and I kept them for myself.
Are you allowed to give out bottles as gifts?
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of a gray area there.
Because you could like take donations in Bitcoin and then just hand out gifts and
yeah, for
like,
sure.
I don't know.
You could call it your, you could
theoretically.
You could buy your own wine, right? And then like, hey, someone says I want to get some wine and I'll give you some Bitcoin. And you're like, hey, I have some wine that I own and it's not what my business owns because I paid for it from the business already. So I will
maybe I'll experiment with this with like blueberry juice before the wine. Uncle Sam scares the fuck out of me, and like they ATF does come right up to our farm, checks it out,
shoot your dog.
They do have a gun like on their hip, like it's a little intimidating. I mean, but I mean they're basically the main thing that every government agency has checked is to make sure we're paying our taxes. We could be selling arsenic in the bottle. And, it's just really.
Ooh, arsenic in a bottle of wine. That's the libertarian dream.
Yeah. That's the thing, that whole meme about like, Ayn Rand Paul and Paul Ryan.
Paul Ryan.
Yeah.
Who's totally a libertarian.
Libertarian hero, Paul Ryan. walk in the bar and die. But like the actuality of it is like the government doesn't check shit. They're just checking to make sure your paperwork's done and your taxes are paid, because that's all they really care about.
I don't interact with government regulators often, but when I got a 220 volt outlet installed in my garage for our Tesla, we had to get it inspected by like a government official. The dude literally just comes, like calls me to let me know he's there, comes, shines a flashlight at the outlet from, I'm going to say 10 feet away, goes, and then is like, I'm done, and leaves. Like it was literally 20 seconds of shining a flashlight at it from like 10 feet away.
Nice.
Like he didn't even come into my garage.
That's so stupid. Dude, next time just have me come out there and install it. That's like we had 2 installed, and I did them both myself, and had an our electrician guy just make sure it was okay. And
are those 220s or?
Yeah, so they're both 50 amp 220. They charge that because we got a Tesla and a Fiat, a little electric Fiat. I don't think they make the electric Fiat anymore, but it was like
which Tesla did you get?
We had Nikki bought it before we got together, actually, back in 2016. So we have the S. It was the only one. It was the only one that was out then. But we're actually
stunt woman money.
yeah. Stunt woman money is not bad. We're trying to actually look into trading it for a Y.
Cool.
Y.
Yeah, I got
I thought you were going for the Rivian.
3s to come in. And I was on the Model 3 wait list for about a year and a half before they were coming out, and then I've got the dual motor. It's fun. It's a fun car.
Yeah. Oh, they're so much fun. Like,
yeah,
they're extremely fun to drive, and I love autopilot. Like that's why I want to get the Y, is so we can have full self-driving, so I don't have to worry about.
I don't fuck with that shit.
Do you not do the autopilot?
So I had autopilot as like a trial. It costs like $5,000 to turn it on. Basically, like the Tesla has the nuts and bolts for it, but it's like it's like DLC for your car. But yeah, in my experience, it was basically just adaptive cruise control.
Yeah, it's generally just adaptive cruise control, but it was like the first one to do that. So like Subaru does it now, Mercedes does it now, Audi does, like they all do it now.
Dude, I think my manual fucking Golf GTI has adaptive cruise control.
Really?
I only bought it a year later.
Wow.
You better be careful with that. They go Michael Hastings, y'all.
Yes.
I don't know what that
being
means.
on the highway in Jake's Tesla there, but that was a nerve-wracking experience. He's on the phone. He's like, "Here, watch this video," holding it with both hands, and I'm like, the car's going 70 miles an hour. I'm sitting there. I'm like, "Oh fuck me."
It took a couple weeks to get used to, but man, if you're taking a road trip in a Tesla, that's the way to go, because
that does sound good.
You just sit there and do whatever you want to do, and then you're just on the highway going straight, and you don't have to pay attention. I mean, you're supposed to. It has this sensor where if it doesn't sense your hand on the wheel after like 15 seconds, it'll start beeping, and if you don't respond, it'll just slow down, pull over, and stop. And
wow.
So what somebody invented was the orange trick, which is you shove an orange in this, like one of the things of the steering wheel, and it'll keep it balanced. And we perfected it. We got an ankle weight and we tie it to the edge of the steering wheel. And so you never have to touch it. It just like, you go for 200 miles and I didn't see any scenery, I'll get up my laptop and just work.
The Tesla's weird on the highway. It's like the opposite of a gas car in that it's really inefficient on the highway.
Yeah,
but crazy inefficient stop and go.
Yes, yeah, it's super efficient in the city, but much worse. And the Fiat's even worse. Like the Fiat's a 2015, and if you go on the highway, I only get like 110 miles in the Fiat. And if you go on the highway, it drops down to like 45. Like you get nothing.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the tech wasn't there, but like the regenerative braking is amazing because it just repowers the batteries every time you stop.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's neat.
Yeah. I wouldn't advise having only electric cars as your cars, though.
No. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So we went the complete opposite direction, where our other car's a stick shift. So it's not like
Nice.
like an automatic would have just felt like a shittier Tesla. So we were like, all right, we gotta really complement the car, and yeah, the stick shift's fucking fun.
What year did they start putting like full-on computers in cars? Because I kind of want one that's like prior to that.
Probably would have been in the early 2000s, somewhere in the 2000s.
Man,
like, I bet if you buy like a 90s
80s,
car,
80s maybe 90s, yeah.
80s car definitely. Like fucking, I know what the DeLorean is completely analog.
Ooh, well, I want something tougher than that. It would be my like doomsday vehicle.
Yeah,
big truck or something.
My stick shift does have a computer in it, so I don't know.
Yeah, our we got a big Sprinter van that we turn tiny homes, or we make tiny homes out of Sprinter vans and buses and stuff like that. So we have a Sprinter van that we're currently converting, and it's got a computer in it. It's really freaking annoying. Because it does weird stuff, man. Cars are so weird, complicated. I wish I was a mechanic sometimes, but so much money goes into paying somebody.
Something trending on Twitter right now.
Yeah.
Is which I sent the link for. Is that last comment? Inflation has multiple causes in addition to federal spending. Fact checkers report.
Oh, those fact checkers.
PolitiFact is on top of it, motherfuckers. Now we know. Now we figured it fucking out. Why the prices are high.
Let's see. Multifaceted. Although economists disagree on the extent to which federal spending fueled inflation, the general consensus is that such funding, including the American Rescue Plan of 2021, was a contributor. Yet the COVID-19 pandemic and Russia's invasion of Ukraine also affected supply chains of goods and led to increased costs of living for Americans, according to the Associated Press, Politico, and numerous other reports. I don't know about
COVID.
So
it wasn't so much the COVID-19 pandemic as much as the reaction to the COVID-19 pandemic.
Right. So the lockdowns,
and not quite the Russian invasion, but the billions of dollars we dumped over there.
Yeah,
the lockdowns are definitely a factor. I don't know that Russia invading Ukraine affected us.
Well,
really
it did
at all.
It did in the sense that we sent them billions and millions of dollars.
Well, sure, but I fucking hate this Republican talking point of it's federal spending that causes inflation, because it's like it's so close, but it's wrong, right? Like it hints at the idea, it sniffs at it, it's tangential to it. It's a line that touches the edge of the circle, but it's not the fucking actual problem.
No, it's not. Yeah,
because the Republicans also like the printer.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's just the printing. I'm literally in the process of editing. I have chapter 3 of the movie is the Fed. And it just talks about money here in the U.S. and trying to explain to people why we're getting screwed.
That really is the hardest part to get people to understand, but it's like the most important fucking thing. It's everything.
I was up till 1:15 last night, ripping my non-existent hair out, trying to condense. So Joseph Plummer, I was talking to Robbie Bernstein last night, and Joseph Plummer wrote 5 pages in a book about like how the boom bust cycle happens. And I was trying to condense it down to 1 page on a script. That is so freaking hard to do. And like, even after that, I'm not 100% that I got it fully correct.
This is why I have tweet threads.
Yes, you have to have, like, especially with the Fed, you have to have endless tweet threads. And like in the movie, I state like this is a function of the Fed so that it is allowed to keep going. Because if people don't understand it, then you don't have a reason to take it away, you know? And if people are so bored by the Fed that they have no interest in trying to protest it or bring it to anybody's attention, then it just keeps existing, and it's existed for how long now? 109 years.
Yeah, something about that.
It's insane.
There's a lot of libertarians that are bored by the Federal Reserve too,
which is crazy because honestly, the Fed might be the biggest boogeyman on earth.
Yeah, I've for years avoided going down that rabbit hole just because monetary policy is boring as fuck to me. But I mean, once you really kind of see it, it's real simple. Like it's so simple that it's infuriating.
You don't really need to know the mechanics.
Yeah,
you just got to understand that the money supply is increasing.
Yeah,
and then just really sit down and think through what that means. How does that affect your life? Well, the very first thing is that it means that prices go up over time because the growth of money outpaces the growth of the economy. And then you just sit down and think about okay, well, what effects does the fact that the money the money buys less over time? How does that affect me? Well, first of all, it means I can't just save. I have to have a 401k or an IRA or something to try and beat inflation, right? And you just go out from there. And what are all these effects of not being able to save? A penny earned or a penny saved is no longer a penny earned. What does that mean? And it's just friends and family, I just try to beat them over the head with this shit, and it just doesn't get through to anybody. It's so frustrating. And I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Is that really a thing? The Titanic people?
I have heard that conspiracy theory multiple times.
Well, J.P. Morgan was supposed to be on the Titanic and failed to get on.
Well, that would have been awesome.
So, yeah, I can't remember all the stuff with the Titanic, but there is a whole conspiracy theory that the Titanic wasn't actually the Titanic.
What was it?
So there were three ships built to get built together, right? It was like the Britannic, the Titanic, and the was it the Olympic or something? And the first one,
the QAnon collection.
Yeah, there it is. So
no, I think this is Stephen. This is Stephen's fault. He's the one who brought this up.
Yeah. So what happened was the first one got damaged, and they swapped the two because there was something about the designs changing or something last minute, so that the one that was damaged, they purposely sunk it for the insurance money, and the real Titanic was the one that survived under the previous ship's name. Who knows what's what, but I'm just saying it's a theory.
That's all you're saying. I get you.
I will say the fact that the Titanic did sink is the more I think about it, the weirder it is, because if you're the captain of that vessel, you've got there's no way you're not vigilant as crap that entire time, because it's what wasn't it the most expensive boat built at the time?
It was the largest,
whatever. And it was supposedly unsinkable and all that crap. I don't know. It's definitely weird.
I've read it before.
None dare call it a conspiracy to my son. It's a bedtime story.
I have a copy of that somewhere.
Interesting.
How old is your son, Stephen?
Oh my gosh.
My son's he's not old enough for the Tuttle Twins ABC books yet.
I still might understand what those are.
We got to get Stephen and Mary Beth on the stream here at some point.
All right, they can come on wherever they want. I'm probably gonna do this once or twice a week now, because once the movie's out, here we go. Son is 6, barely makes it past 2 pages.
So I have the Tuttle Twins make some ABC books, and I went ahead and bought them. And one of them is the ABCs of economics, and it's one of those thick cardboard pages, like made for babies, right? So they don't tear the pages.
Okay.
Fuck. Q is for quantitative easing. It's like, motherfucker, who is this for? And clearly the answer is sucker libertarian parents like myself.
Yes, clearly.
I was like, oh, cool. It's like a little ABC book. He'll learn the alphabet. Maybe we'll get some economics in there. It's like, J is for the creature from Jekyll Island. It's like, motherfucker. Like, you know what? Here's the thing. I don't know what I expected. But it's seriously, it's in the same, like, it's these the cardboard board books with the thick pages. Like, I have Twinkle Twinkle Little Shark is like the same fucking kind of book. And that's just like baby nonsense. It's fucking.
Dude.
What's the letter J?
You got me, Connor Boyack.
Yeah, what does the letter J stand for, Andrew? Or Cap?
Jekyll Island.
Okay.
Dude,
I was trying to make it,
I don't have.
Oh, jeez, Will.
Will, come on.
Why do they run all the banking systems?
We're not going down this road.
Just
We're
a
not
little
going.
Gentile humor, fellas.
We're not going down this road.
No, we're not. I don't have children, but I did. One of my best buds out here had a kid a couple years ago, and for Christmas last year, or for a birthday or something, one of their in-laws gave them something about why masking is important book.
Oh God.
It was the most painful, because I was there on her birthday when she got it, and it was like the most painful thing I've ever seen for a kid to get as a birthday present. Freaking 2-year-old. I want to watch a minute and 37 of Dave, because I haven't watched this episode yet. So,
oh man, I'm like
40 minutes last night.
From Vladimir Putin is that I feel like he can't lose this war. And the American position is that he must lose. He must completely lose the war and retreat and give Ukraine all back to Ukraine. And it's like, however you feel about that, it's just not going to happen. That's not going to happen. He's not handing the whole thing back over. And you may think that's wrong, and I kind of think it's wrong too. I don't know. I think maybe he should keep Donbass. I don't really know. But it's like, it's not going to happen. And Joe Biden is acting like he must win this war. But that's not really true. Like, we don't really need it. But Vladimir Putin does need it. He can't lose a war right on his border. Like that's a different type of thing to give up. And so now he's saying that if the territory of Russia is infringed on, he will use nuclear weapons. And he said straight up, this is not a bluff. He goes, this is not a bluff. I will use nukes. He's just said this the other day. And then Zelensky goes on and gives a speech. And Zelensky says that his standard is not just that Russia has to retreat and give back all the territory to Ukraine, but that Russia must be punished for the aggression into Ukraine. And then Zelensky says that if Russia even thinks about using nukes, that the other nuclear armed countries should use their nukes against Russia. And you're just like, dude, what the fuck are we talking about here? And I'm sorry. No, we shouldn't. We shouldn't use nukes against Russia preemptively because this Zelensky guy wants us to.
Yeah, but he was at the Grammys.
What?
Zelensky was at the Grammys, or maybe he videoed in. I don't remember.
Interesting.
They were saying he should.
John Liberty, inexcusable. We're definitely better than Josh Smith.
John Liberty, you're now the only person watching this show. We have dwindled. Oh, wait, no, Steven's still watching. I wonder why it only says one person if there's actually at least two.
Is that just the YouTube count or?
Yeah, that's a good question.
It's hard to know.
YouTube and Facebook. It doesn't count Twitter. It only counts YouTube and Facebook. So apparently, Steven, you're not watching. Oh, no, now you are watching. I don't really know.
I saw we have one person on YouTube.
I think there's a rule that you got to be podcasting have more people watching than are on the stream.
we did for a while. We've held steady at like 10 to 12.
I wonder if that one person on YouTube is my wife.
That's pretty good though. Usually there hasn't been that many as far as normally.
I would shadow ban you too. So
I know you said that we get more views that this actually gets more views
Go catch
in
it,
replay.
VPN. That's good, Steven. And John says nope. But yeah, man, we're getting more viewers each week, each time we do this, which is a good thing. Because whoever was in charge of this whole YouTube channel, all of our stuff, just let it go to shit. Like, we hadn't put out a podcast in over a year. We hadn't done anything on the YouTube channel. I mean, we basically uploaded the convention speeches. And so like, we just don't do anything on this channel. And since we all took over on this, we've gained like 60 subscribers. We get way more views on the videos now than we have in the past. So like, this is working. And we actually do have legit conversations, obviously, during Liberty Libations. And then I get good guests for the podcast. So like, all this is going well. It just takes a freaking long time to build.
a lot of it is really just about being persistent and building an audience. The company I work for, which I won't go into detail about, but we would do streaming content, and it so much of it about it like we were getting 1 to 10 viewers an episode for a while, but the idea is to just keep doing it on a schedule so people know when it is. And you just keep doing it, and eventually now it's like hundreds of thousands of people viewing an episode kind of thing. Maybe not live, but eventually, right? And so it's just, you just got to keep at it. Now I don't know how long that takes. I don't know.
It takes a long time. I had my own YouTube channel for a long time. I mean, I put out 85 episodes of a show back in 2015, 2016, traveling around the world, basically teaching people how to travel on with no money. And man, it took forever to get to like 500 subscribers. It just, it's a long game. And that's another issue with this whole thing is like, people get burned out in the LP, like, because we have to wear so many hats. We have to do so many different things. You can't keep this up forever, which is why we need our numbers to grow so that everybody can have a specific task and not have to do so many daggum things.
Yeah, it's hard. And we're all volunteers too. Right?
Yes.
Like this is, we all have jobs outside of this.
Yes. Like,
and
very full time. I have like 6 other jobs.
Yeah, Steve, get in touch with Jake or myself, and let's get you on for next week.
Heck yeah, yeah. Actually, we will not be doing this on Thursday because Thursday is the premiere. In fact, I'm just gonna run that banner while we're slowly winding down on the show.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. So, your movie.
Yeah.
What platforms will it be released on?
Vimeo exclusively.
Ooh.
You have to rent it or buy it. $5 to rent, $15 to buy it. If you buy it, you get a whole bunch of exclusive content. You'll get a whole bunch of Shane speeches. You'll get full interviews of Angela McArdle, Spike Cohen, Jared Bell.
Where's he tonight?
Who knows? He doesn't like getting on here. He doesn't want to get fired and stuff like that. So
I understand.
Yeah, but I went with Vimeo. I used to be on Amazon, but Amazon 3 weeks after I released my first movie on Amazon deleted all independent filmmakers. So like basically without warning. Like I didn't even know that was going to happen. They just, one day I was there, one day I was gone.
Is Monopoly on Violence still on Amazon?
That's what I
believe so.
I don't know. Is it?
I know it went on YouTube also, but I thought it was still on Amazon.
Looks like it is. Yeah.
Interesting. So that's so strange.
Director Chris Kofer. What?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I just assumed Pete directed it.
No, he didn't direct it.
No. Interesting. I wonder why he's still on there.
Pete's controlled opposition. Y'all heard it here first, folks.
Man, I love.
I gotta say, I
don't listen to Pete anymore.
I don't either. I also didn't like the Monopoly on Violence. Just saying, like the information was good, but I was bored out of my daggum mind.
It's it could have used some polish.
Yeah.
It gets boring, but I really liked it, and I love that it exists.
Yeah, I basically described it as listening to a lecture.
Okay, well that's our problem, right? Like, how do we make libertarianism not a lecture?
Well, tune in next Thursday and you'll find out.
Are you going to stream it live on the channel?
No, it won't be streaming. Well, I don't know.
So why do you have a, if you don't mind me asking, why do you have a paywall for it? And no, like at least like a free period or something.
If it was on Amazon Prime, it would be free with the subscription to Amazon Prime. But like, I can't make the amount of time and money of my own money because I self-funded the whole thing. Like,
right.
I have no investors. I did all the work except for animation, some music, most of the composing. I hired a guy. Robbie Bernstein is doing the narration, and I hired a PR lady for the last month. So like, aside from that, I did everything. And so the amount of time that I spent on this, I have to make money in order just to get my money back. Like, it's crazy. Like I've been going hard. Like the last movie I made, I didn't do a whole bunch of advertising. This time I have billboards up all over Georgia. I have advertisements up on YouTube and Google ads and all that kind of stuff. I've got an ad going up in Times Square. So like,
You've got an ad going up in Times Square?
Yeah, for a week straight.
How'd you swing that?
It's actually not as hard as you think and not as expensive as you think.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's what Tim Pool said.
Yeah.
So.
But he was doing the super cheap, like, basically just text ones. Mine's like full on. It's still digital, so it switches to other things too. But like, it has the full movie poster with a QR code, so people can just go right to the page. Yeah, and like that's the reason. Like, I can't spend this amount of my time and money and not at least get it back or have the opportunity to get it back. So like, if I had only like people watch it for free, you can get all the info you need and know if you want to watch it from the trailer, because the trailer is pretty indicative of what the movie is. And $5 for a movie night, come on, that's not bad at all.
But splurge and spend the 15.
Yeah, splurge and spend the 15. I would agree with that. Yeah, and like Vimeo I get 90% of the money, whereas Amazon I got like 60 maybe.
Well, you said that you would let it go for free if it was on Amazon Prime. So how does that work?
More people would see it. So if it was on Amazon Prime, I'd take the 60%, but obviously way more people have Amazon, and like it being on Vimeo just means it's either another app or just another, like, it's a site that people aren't used to. It's honestly not the best site for navigating, but if you send them straight there, it's easy. Yeah, like that's the reason I would have it for free on Amazon, is because way more people would have that app and have that subscription. So it would just be easier, but they don't let me on anymore. So whatever.
Do you think you'll ever eventually do it on YouTube or anything, like once you paid your bills on it or something?
I might release it on YouTube if I make my money back and then some.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would consider releasing it on YouTube for free
you can
for
make
everybody.
do some advertising on that too, stuff.
Yeah, and like eventually, like if it gets enough hits on YouTube, I would be making money. Like I still have 500 something subscribers on that channel, so like that would be the channel I'd release it on.
I know.
So, I don't know. It's a year and a half of my life, and I don't want to discount that.
Absolutely.
Godspeed, man.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah, he had to spend all that time following Shane around, and
yeah, and that's a nightmare. That dude. No, it's been great. It was really cool. Like I just tweeted at Shane one day after I saw him make some type of speech, and I was like, "Hey, man, I think I want to make a documentary about your run for governor." And he messaged me back, and we were on the phone like 5 days later, and that was it. Like I was filming a week later. It was great. He's been
that's
awesome.
when you got shot at.
That's when we got shot at. Yeah,
you got shot at?
We were sitting on his back porch. Me and Nikki went up to his house to just meet him and his family. Just to
Where's
make sure,
his house?
Like up in Cherokee County in the mountains.
What the fuck?
And we were sitting on the back porch, just hanging out, like getting to know each other. And all of a sudden, we hear gunshots way in the distance, and it's not way in the distance. It's kind of close, but they're clearly just firing at a range, or made their own range and are firing. And then all of a sudden we hear 2 bullets, like right past the porch. I'm talking like 15 feet from us, and we bolt inside. Shane runs into the bedroom, comes out full tactical gear.
Of course he does.
Like just runs down, like gets in his Polaris and just flies down the mountain. And yeah, he tells the story. He pulls up on him and like flies out of the Polaris and basically says, "What the fuck are y'all doing?" or something like that, or like just goes off on him. And
what were they doing?
Just shooting at a range, or like they set up their own little range and had no idea what was behind the range.
Oh my god!
I've been shot at like that before too. My
Dang,
that's gotta be terrifying.
I was with my dogs, like we kind of.
We gotta get these guns banned.
Yeah, that was the most liberal I ever was. When I saw gunshots hitting like a pine tree, like close to me.
Wow,
going over my head. Oh yeah, it was.
Steven, shooting tannerite is fucking dope. Everyone should shoot tannerite at some point in their life.
Until you're the people that are shooting tannerite's neighbor, and they do it.
No, you gotta know what's behind you. But also what you
not everyone
do
lives in a South Georgia
is
farm.
You want to take like a milk jug or something and fill that shit up with gasoline and put it behind the tannerite. Because then you get a fiery explosion.
Yeah, Steven, the FPS Russia dude is from Georgia. Yeah, but he's not online anymore, obviously. Isn't he still in jail?
No, he's not. But
he's not.
He is
the
a convicted
FPS
felon
Russia.
now.
I remember that dude. Yeah.
Who?
Yeah, the FPS Russia guy.
I don't know what that
he had a massive YouTube channel.
He'd shoot guns and just be creative. And it was fun.
He was awesome.
Yeah, and something happened and the feds did something.
Darn right, John.
Yeah, you're supposed to have a big fucking hill.
Yep.
And like something like at an angle, right? So that it doesn't bounce back at you, I guess.
Yes. 100%.
I'm not a big gun guy. I'm a medium gun guy, but I get that shit.
I'm turning into a big gun guy.
You bought a.
I did just buy an $1,800 gun.
$1,800 gun.
So. Here's the thing: I like guns that I enjoy in Call of Duty, and the guns that I enjoyed most in Call of Duty are the AK-47 and the P90. So now I have both of them.
Okay. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us where you keep them?
No. No, I don't.
And what's your real name?
Steve Rothbard, apparently.
Does the moniker come from love of the MCU or from comics?
MCU definitely. I have never been a real comic reader, but I've always enjoyed superheroes. And so it's funny, I watch like the Eric July and the Nerdrotic videos and they're like, just adapt the comics. I'm like, motherfucker, these comics are cheesy as hell. to be quite frank.
You gotta know the right ones to read.
I enjoy the characters and I really like the movies. I've always liked superheroes. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like I've always liked Batman, Spider-Man, especially. And then the Spider-Man movies when I was in high school and college, really fucking dope. Well, except for the third one. And then the MCU really went to shit after
Iron Man.
I'll defend She-Hulk right here. I love it.
All right, defend. I haven't seen
Defend
She-Hulk,
it,
so
Please
if you want to
defend
defend
it.
it.
It's great. It's great. It's
Have you watched past the first episode?
Yeah, I've watched them all, man. I've watched every MCU thing, and I'm pretty much. I'll defend most of it.
I liked WandaVision
We're
up
gonna go
until
to
the
War
last
Wheel.
episode.
You didn't like WandaVision's end, man?
Dude,
I haven't watched anything since the end of the Avengers.
Wanda fucking takes an entire town hostage for I don't know how much time, but it's a long time, where they are like complete slaves in a way that like even chattel slavery doesn't approach, where like she's controlling their bodies and what they say while their minds are just sitting there and observing it.
Yeah, Will seems super into this.
And
I'm into it. Wanda's like,
and then she finally gives it up, and Monica Rambeau's like, they'll never understand what you gave up for them. Like, motherfucker, I have I'm about to have kids, and I understand how important and life altering having kids is, but motherfucker, like it ain't enslaving an entire fucking town. Like,
well, Wanda's a mental patient. That's kind of like the thing. Like,
yeah,
like
no, look,
they're
there was some great fucking shit where like it's like dealing with grief. You know, fine. Like I understand those are some left wing authors, and they really appreciated that subject, and I'll give them credit for that. It was actually pretty well handled. But motherfucker, you can't have her be the good guy at the end when your story is that she enslaved these people. Like,
I feel you. What did you watch the Doctor Strange 2? Like,
I hated it.
Oh no! Come on.
Here's the thing, I love Sam Raimi too, because I love the first two Spider-Man movies. Spider-Man 2, still like a top 5 superhero movie of all time. Easy.
Even with the gold coin bags and stuff.
Wait, which Spider-Man are we talking about?
The one with Doc Ock.
Oh, Toby.
Yeah. Toby and Doc Ock. Yeah, Spider-Man 2, I believe that's 2004, 2005, probably 04. That's a motherfucking
Spider-Man
movie.
Did you like that?
What?
No Way Home. Did you dig on that?
I enjoyed it a lot more in theaters than when I watched it at home. We rewatched it at home recently, and it's very fan servicey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is fine. Compared to the rest of the MCU post Endgame, very good.
I think that's the only one I've watched post Endgame.
Did you see the other Spider-Man movie was okay? Far From Home.
I did watch that because we were actually in Venice when they were filming. Tom Holland ran right past us.
Dude, fuck yeah, that's cool.
It was crazy.
That's really cool.
We actually
that one was pretty good. I didn't like the whole Edith thing. It didn't make sense. But the rest of it, they made Mysterio cool. They really nailed Mysterio.
Absolutely.
And that's another thing I'll say about MCU Spider-Man is they made Vulture and Mysterio cool, which I didn't think was possible. Or I didn't know how to do it, but they fucking did it. But yeah, the rest of fucking all the Phase 4 Marvel, like Black Widow was boring.
Black Widow is boring.
You put it with like the bad Phase 1 movies, like the first Captain America or the first Thor, right? And then that Falcon Winter Soldier show was fucking terrible.
What? I thought you need to change your profile to Sam Wilson, man.
No. Mother. First of all, it should have been Bucky. It should have been Bucky. Falcon's already Falcon. Let Falcon be Falcon. Eric July is right about that shit.
Eric July is poisoning everybody to fun. You know,
you
haven't even heard me go off on the MCU yet.
He's one of these superheroes with crucifix belt buckles. I'm not into it, bro.
But dude, the part at the end where Falcon's like, "You got to do better, Senator."
Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that accent?
Oh man,
I feel you a little bit on the Falcon shit gets laid on a little thick.
It just wasn't very good. They got a character called the Power Broker. Like, how do you think politics work? They're all power brokers. But then Loki was really bad. I think that was the last straw.
See, I'm like wanting to defend them all. They're not perfect, but
I hate most of them. I hate most of them.
They're so sloppy.
In game was my last straw.
First of all, it's like, okay, we're gonna bring in female Loki, who's better than Loki at everything, especially the snark.
Who is female Loki?
It's
like an alternate version.
So Loki introduces the multiverse, and in the multiverse, there are infinite Lokis, like fucking Rick and Morty, right? Okay. And one of them's female, and one of them's a crocodile, one of them's a baby, and one of them's an old man, and fucking female Loki is the shit. She's the best, to the point where our Loki from Avengers is like, "You're amazing." He's literally like, "You're amazing. You're the best. You're so cool." And he's like falling in love with her. And then like, they just fucking like, at one point, they travel to a planet that is about to go like extinct from a meteor apocalypse kind of thing. They go to a planet that's in an apocalyptic situation where they know it's about to blow up. The planet's about to end. And they have a casual stroll along a green screen while they just chat with each other about their past.
It was fun.
That crap crushed me.
On like, and here's the, they're supposed to be going over rough terrain while they walk in a flat studio on a green screen at a casual amble. They amble through the apocalypse.
Reed, we're just rambling at this point.
Nothing will disinterest Reed.
Stick around, Reed.
That we're
gonna
talking
enjoy
about
our
the
MCU talk.
I mean, you could send him a link and put him.
Talk to Reed about like.
Yeah. Reed, you're welcome to come on if you want to.
His eyes will glaze over.
I don't think I've ever actually met you.
Dude, if fucking Reed can jump in, fucking grab him now.
Reed.
Hey, if Reed wants to come in, he can. Boom. It's in the comments.
But man, I don't know. I feel like I'm in the mourning phase.
You're asking for trouble just dropping the StreamYard link.
Honestly,
like that.
The only
doesn't matter. I can decline people.
Spider-Man was pretty cool, dude. Fuck it. Did you see James Gunn's? The only good.
I like
MCU
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Wow.
Too.
First of all, Iron Man.
All
stars,
of them are good.
Okay, listen.
Military industrial
from
complex.
From a film perspective, which sounds super pretentious, but that's fine.
It does.
I'm a filmmaker. Shut up.
I'm a filmmaker.
He's 100% correct. It was the only original one out of the whole bunch, and every other one copied all the dumb tropes that one used for the rest of eternity. Like Guardians of the Galaxy did a little bit of different things. Like everyone had a little tweak here and there, but that was easily the only good actual movie. The rest was literally just entertainment.
Blasphemy.
So I definitely put Iron Man very high in the pantheon of MCU films. I think the first Avengers was very, very good.
Iron Man 1 is the only good Iron Man movie.
Yes,
that's true.
That's 100%.
And that's probably the best movie Jon Favreau has ever directed.
What else has he directed?
He did. What's the one where they call people money all the time?
What?
They use the word money in place of the word cool. Like, oh man, that was so money.
Yeah,
it's not Slackers.
Swingers. Yeah, Swingers.
And he was in the early 2000s Daredevil movie. He played Foggy, whatever.
That
he's directed 26
Avengers was good.
Movies.
You fucking look. I understand a lot of people were angry at Joss Whedon, but that motherfucker could make movies and TV.
He directed live action Jungle Book, and it was terrible.
It was one of those books.
It was a Disney
giant monkey
live action
Christopher
remake.
Walken. Do y'all remember that?
Yes,
that was crazy.
I want to be just like you.
I sang the song for a month afterwards.
Fuck it. Okay, yeah, the Guardians movies are both very good.
Guardians is great.
I really, really enjoyed the second two Cap movies. They are arguably quite libertarian. And then Infinity.
Oh shit!
Alex, fucking Reed, what's up, dude?
Not much. How you guys doing?
Good.
Nice to meet you, man.
Yeah, you too.
Did you
Thanks
not
for
like
joining the show.
Infinity War?
Infinity War. That's the one with that's the Ultron one. Is called Ultron.
It's
Infinity
the
War
Thanos
is which Thanos? Isn't there a couple Thanos ones?
There are two. It's the first Thanos one. There are two main Thanos ones.
You should
There's
have
the one
aimed
where
for
Thanos
the head.
is like
that
the
one.
main character.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember all of it. I think it was good. I think I liked it. Trying to remember. That's the one in Wakanda, right? Mostly.
A
like
big
fighting.
fighting takes place in
Yeah.
Wakanda. Yeah.
It was all right. It was entertaining.
Also, did the fucking Winter Soldier and Civil War semi-libertarian movies?
Yeah, the Winter Soldier one was. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is Civil War. Fucking Cap is on the side of like, no, we don't need to regulate the shit. And he's like, look, if we have this oversight committee, we're just offloading our responsibility to the government or whatever, which is fucking. I mean, it's at the very least, it's the regime libertarian type of libertarianism, right?
True.
The question is, how many people did the Hydra get during World War II?
Dude, apparently a lot.
Hell, Hydra! Come on, guys.
Oh, jeez.
It's been so long since I watched any of these things, man.
Man, I fucking look. I don't know. Well, you can see my fucking avatar. I really liked the MCU up before,
Oh, you're into Iron Man? No, I'm just kidding.
Wait, so would you prefer the best MCU movies over the best DC movies?
Well, the best one is The Dark Knight. So
correct.
No.
Dark Knight.
That whole trilogy
superhero movie is The Dark Knight.
The worst. Though.
That whole trilogy is better than anything the MCU has ever.
Dark
made.
Knight Rises is the worst fucking movie ever made.
Nope.
No,
well, that's not true.
Dark Knight Rises is better
than
than
made. I don't know about
worst
movie ever
made.
Motherfucker, have you seen Elektra? Have you seen Catwoman?
I will rewatch Elektra backwards before I watch Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, but I've
Adam West
Dark
style
Knight
bomb
Rises
that he takes off in the end, and fucking what the hell? Bane
It's
is a
better
British
than Princess Leia flying through space.
the fight scene with
Leia
fight scene with Bane and Batman, though, in front of the building with the giant pillars and stuff.
Yeah.
That was where I went to college.
Let me guess, it's Pennsylvania.
I saw them kind of like down there filming over the summer, and
nice.
That's pretty cool. Did you see when all the cops like put on their white gloves and ran and had a street brawl for some reason? They were like, "Yeah, we're gonna fucking fisticuffs the bad guy."
Like I drove down past it and I like saw the Batmobile and stuff down there, but
that's cool.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah, I forgot Gotham was Pittsburgh, right?
That new
in the third one.
Pittsburgh in the third movie. Yeah,
it's Chicago in the
first.
second movie.
Yeah, in the second one.
And the first movie, I believe, is all just sound stages.
First movie was great too. The first movie is highly underrated.
It's fucking fantastic.
First one was great in that.
God,
I recently watched The Batman and Batman Begins back to back. Because people were talking about the new Batman movie it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty good. It's just like I had a coworker was like, "Oh my god, the ending of that movie really expressed some of my real life fears." I'm like, "Motherfucker, you're afraid of right wing online people, aren't you?" Like, it's like this motherfucker has like 50 followers online, and people are like, "Oh my god," and no one apparently found out about it before it happens. And it's a fucking Hollywood doesn't understand the internet even a little bit.
The fucking Batmobile though was pretty cool.
It was pretty dope,
yeah.
And they had an entire scene that was they really twisted the narrative to really like fucking get that chase scene in there. But it worked. It was pretty fun.
I enjoyed that movie. I liked it. It was way better than the Zack Snyder versions.
I'm a little bit of a Snyder apologist.
What? How?
Okay, well, 300's a piece of shit. Man of Steel is one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Wait, 300? You gonna disperse?
300 was pretty sweet.
I'm gonna put a middle finger to 300. That is honestly the word toxic masculinity, the first time I heard it said by some left winger, I was like, oh, that's how I describe 300.
I have still never watched that whole movie. I've just seen like all the climactic
It's
scenes.
machismo bullshit.
You don't need
movie.
to.
But Zack Snyder made Watchmen, and
Watchmen
Watchmen's
was
fucking
great.
good.
Did you watch the show?
No, I've heard it's just woke bullshit.
Yeah,
it is woke bullshit, but it is pretty good.
All right. I'll give it a chance.
So, guys,
Will,
Saving
Private your Savannah goatee. I'm gonna take it on that word.
So, Saving Private Ryan, is it a pro-war movie or an anti-war movie? Will and I were talking about this earlier today.
Pro. It's pro.
Why?
I say pro because it ends on the note of being
because
nostalgic
the people
and
who
happy.
watch it don't think that war should be like. I honestly, like, given what it says, I don't really know, but I know that the people who like that movie are rah war. You know what I mean?
Reed's got a good like story.
Like the people who really like Jarhead, the people who really like Platoon are a little more anti-war, but the people who like Saving Private Ryan are the people who want America to be the police force around the world.
Well, I think part of it is every war movie emulates Saving Private Ryan now. When it came out, it was like, I mean, I wasn't even paying it. I was a kid when it came out, but when it came out, it shocked everybody. Where now, if you see a movie like that, it's just nothing. So now people, like, nowadays, Saving Private Ryan is just a war movie. It's not like, oh my God, did you see this? It's going to, like, wreck your life. But for me,
I was 16 when it came out. The war movie fans liked it. I don't know.
Well, my story is I grew up in the 90s. I was, when did it come out? 98?
98. It
Yeah,
lost
so I was
Best
4.
Picture to Shakespeare in Love, everyone's favorite movie.
But I'd kind of grown up with this romanticized vision of what war was because I watched like just fun war movies or whatever, and then occasionally something like The Dirty Dozen or something that's just like kind of cool but not. And so I was obsessed with World War II. I was like reading tons of books about it, and I just thought it was the coolest thing in the world. And my dad said, Reed, you need to see Saving Private Ryan, and you will never want to, like, you know, you'll never think war is cool again.
Did it have that effect on you?
It did 100%.
Wow,
So
okay.
I think I was 14 when I watched it, and we, you know, the
very
level
visceral.
of violence I had seen was like Indiana Jones level. Like that's how we were kind of sheltered growing up. But then my dad watched it with me, and we watched just the beach landing scene, and he stopped, and I cried for like an hour. It just like rocked my world. It really, like, and then we watched the rest of it like 3 days later, and it, like complete. That's like the first thing that started making me anti-war was Saving Private Ryan.
It's interesting because I do feel like it is pro-war, but it's also like trying to be as realistic about it as possible. Like this is the worst possible job you can have, but it's absolutely necessary. Like that's what I came away with. And then at the at the end, it's like happy nostalgia, like hopeful nostalgia kind of thing. Like when he's standing at the graves, it's not like I wish I hadn't done this and I wish we hadn't have gone there. It's more like we did this together and I'm glad that I knew you kind of thing. Rather
but everybody dies. Like it's not like a happy ending. It's like, wow, everyone died. Okay, I guess I, you know, better.
But it's more like look at what we went through. Look at the costs that we paid to be the hero.
Yeah,
it is kind of how I look at it.
Interesting.
Am I crazy? Was Vin Diesel in the movie?
Yes, he is.
He was in it. Yeah, he was the one who tried to save the kid.
And he gets killed. Like, yeah.
I used to watch that show every 4th of July, or watch that movie.
Yeah, I definitely grew up a right winger, but I never liked war movies, which I always felt like was like a personal defect of mine. I was like, I need to find a war movie that I liked, and then like I liked Jarhead, which is a really anti-war war movie, and then like Inglourious Basterds
that one's
came
good.
out, and I was like, okay, I'll just pick this one as my favorite war movie.
Inglourious
it's not really
Basterds
a war
is
movie.
the best.
I mean,
Inglourious Basterds.
As far as war
It's
movies,
not historically accurate. Well,
what? What? No,
it turns out Hitler didn't die in the theater.
The bear Jew got him. Sorry.
Bear Jew.
That is the coolest
fucking
thing
ball
ever.
game.
When he's knocking on the wall with the baseball bat. Come on. Yeah.
Dude, that's one of that might be Tarantino's second best movie after Pulp Fiction. It's really fucking good.
We're bonding, man. Cap Afghanistan.
Oh man, y'all want to talk about fucking Tarantino movies
all day? I'll do a whole
all fucking day.
Tarantino
Kill Bill
podcast.
Volume 1 was my first. I saw that in theaters.
Oh, nice. Pulp Fiction was my first. Watched it very young.
Yeah,
became a
I
fucking
wasn't ready
zealot.
for that kind of shit when I was young. I was pretty sheltered.
A lot of you libertarian guys are live sheltered adolescence. I was just exposed.
Oh, it was rough, or like in a non-rough way, like
Dude, I watched like American Beauty when I was like 13 or 14, and was like, "Fucking, I'm never watching an R movie again."
I remember
what the
like
fuck
this
is
is
going on in this movie, and it's American Beauty, which is pretty tame compared to Pulp Fiction or Saving Private Ryan, right? Like,
yeah.
This is the funny thing about like growing up in my household, like what was off limits and what we were allowed. So, watch Saving Private Ryan, which was like a whole new level of violence for me. And then a few months later, I think I watched Schindler's List with my dad, and he fast forwarded the sex scenes in Schindler's List. And I remember thinking like, okay, whatever. Like the rest of this is totally fine, but you can't see people fucking in the bed. Like that's out of bounds, but it's kind of funny.
It's American culture right there, man.
It's like you can watch people cut each other's heads off and disembowel each other. That's fine, but once there's a penis on the screen, like shut it down. That's too much. So
well, okay, y'all want to take it to an uncomfortable spot? Like we talk about, like sex is less acceptable for children than violence, right? Like Adventure Time, they do tons of violence and that kind of shit. But drag shows for kids, inappropriate, right? And I would agree with that. But why?
Because
is it because
it makes us mad?
Is it because there's like, well, I guess there maybe not, but well, yeah, I mean, still statistically, there's less likelihood your child's going to become a murderer than going to become sexually messed up if you take them to that type of stuff. Like it feels like it has a more subtle like possible consequential than like I mean
also, sorry,
go ahead.
I also think it's like you teach your kids that violence is wrong no matter what, but at some point sex becomes an option and becomes perfectly okay and acceptable and encouraged. So like I think you're like it's okay, like seeing violence is different than seeing sex on screen, because there's something about violence where no matter what you're taught from birth that is not a good way to handle things.
You're supposed to be taught that, but
yes. And
unless you're
think,
nuking Japan or something, but other than that, violence is bad.
And that was necessary, Reed.
Yeah.
Something about like sexualizing younger children and like even like kids in their early teens. I don't know, man. It like that could start a whole thing, like a whole process within them way too soon.
That's probably the best explanation I've heard. Yeah. Because I agree with it. Like the fucking like the drag shows for kids is like drags are basically sex clowns, right? Like it's fucking bizarre that they're trying to push this on children. But like principally, argumentatively, I don't know. It's like, why is that okay? But Adventure Time, which I think is a great show, is very cartoonishly violent, right? It's like Ninja Turtles for people our generation, right? Or the X-Men TV show. Like, I don't know. I thought that was interesting. But that's pretty good. I like that.
I'm not one to say that I'm the guest. I don't want to interrupt.
Go ahead, Reed.
I was gonna say I'm not one to like blame school shootings on video games or something, but I think that the desensitization to violence does play a role in how little we value life. Like, I mean, even when it comes to war, I feel like the images we see on the news, they're not really different than our entertainment anymore. So I wonder if there's a correlation there to why people. I mean, when you hear about like the Uvalde shooting, I mean, everyone like realizes, yeah, that was really bad, but I don't think people are shocked the way they would have been 30 years ago. And partially because that type of stuff happens all the time. But I think the other part is, I mean, violence is just so inundated in our culture that we don't even notice it anymore. I don't think that's good. To your point,
I recently watched a video of there were two like groups of people that got in a fight in a mall, and one of them pulled a knife. And like the tweet headline is like, "Oh, fuck around, find out," kind of thing. And the guy like steps up on the guy with a knife, and the guy with the knife fucking like slits his throat. Basically, he just swipes at him and catches him in the throat. And the guy's like, "Oh, he grabs his neck while the one group like kind of just basically runs away afterwards. And eventually he basically just starts bleeding out from his neck, like just blood just is everywhere. He collapses, and then I presume he dies from that." And I'm sitting there watching that and feeling not as much as you'd think, right? Like, I'm like, wow, I just watched someone die. And I am kind of numb to it. You know what I mean?
Right.
All right.
Like,
well, sounds like you're going to be the next school shooter.
Luckily, I'm not in school anymore, so I don't have that.
You don't have to be
Rotten.com. Man, you're bringing me back to adolescence right there.
Right, but like I've watched people die in videos and just been like, well, I've seen that in movies. Right.
Yeah, remember when you could just watch on YouTube like ISIS just like fucking shoot people's heads off with 50 caliber.
I didn't care for any of that. Like I definitely don't see those videos. Really. Yeah, I definitely don't.
I saw the one Andrew. I saw the one that you're talking about, but I saw that scrolling one day. Yeah, that was
it's
a
fucked up, right?
Video.
It's in like a mall that looks like it's abandoned or closed or something.
Yeah, and they were like fighting there, and then the dude gets just slashed, and that was a messed up video.
Yeah,
that was a hard one to watch.
It had very little effect on
fights, for real though, guys.
Sorry, I missed what you said.
Bum fights. Did you ever?
Oh yeah.
You ever partake in the bum fights?
No, so I don't seek this shit out, but yeah, I do have a friend who like is a huge fan of our public freak out.
We used to be a proper country.
I like
what time
violent.
Was that, Will, when we had slavery?
I like violent movies too. Like if the violence serves a point, but I mean, if
people love
like
those John Wick movies.
Yeah, I don't like gory movies or horror movies that aren't even scary. They're just disgusting, and I don't know. Like it's not really.
Oh yeah, I watched a fucking Hostel. Remember? Did you ever see that one?
Yeah,
I think I saw one of those.
Why does that need to exist?
I don't know. I don't know why that needs. Man, I forgot about that movie.
Isn't that the guy that plays the Bear Jew?
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
he directed that.
Yeah. Ezra, Elijah, somewhere around this. All right, I gotta pee. I'll be right back. I'll keep talking.
Is it Eli Roth, right?
Eli Roth.
Yeah. That dude's awesome. I mean that movie's awful, but but
he's got another movie I never watched where it's like some people get like captured by some cannibals and shit. The trailer is fucked up.
Captured by what?
Cannibals, like some fucking like tribal cannibals. And
oh yeah, I've seen that movie down in South America
or Green Inferno or something like that.
That was another. Trailer. I mean. Yeah, dude, that one's fucked.
They made a video game out of it.
Did they?
Green Inferno, and then a year later came Green Inferno Survival video game.
Intense.
I never heard of that one.
We are a violent culture. It's been in our bones since we were created. I don't know.
Speaking of violent culture, did you see what was it, March for Women or whatever. So I'm gonna try to find it. I sent it to Will earlier, but what did they say?
Pro-abortion tweet.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We're not just pro-choice. We are proudly, unapologetically pro-abortion. Retweet if you agree. And we ratioed them. So
that's good. That's good.
As a pro-choice guy, it hurts me that people go that hard. It's just, it's a fucking icky issue that, like, we as libertarians through the Mises Caucus.
That's like being a Second Amendment guy and being like, not only do we support the right to bear arms, but we love school shootings or something like that. It's like, what?
It is really like that. It's very close to that.
It's different. Like,
yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. Sandy Hook was based. That was comedy.
Oh God, what did I miss?
Yeah, you came back at the perfect time.
Oh my gosh. Protagonists want to exterminate themselves. We just need to sit back and eat popcorn. I can't eat popcorn, Steven. Sorry.
So Will, is this a good show to talk about your Russian propagandist tendencies that we've talked about, or is this a good one for it? Or
that sounds fun.
No,
I'll back you up on it. I'll back you up on it.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think we're all kind of in agreement, but it's just hard to say because people jump on you. But, like,
you like Putin?
I'll say it if you want. You want me
Putin has to win this war. We were just watching Dave talk about it. Like, I hope Putin wins the war against Ukraine and NATO because, because if he doesn't, there's of course the immediate, threat of him using nuclear weapons and like a defeat. And then there's also the creeping, like, once Ukraine becomes our thing, then Taiwan's going to be right there. And we're going to be pushing for that war, and Iran, and
apparently we're definitely going to send troops to Taiwan.
Apparently,
troops.
That's what Biden
yes,
Biden
said. Also, no.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Do you believe the White House or Biden?
Yeah. Who do you believe? The White House or Joe Biden? Like,
fucking the shit libs on Reddit loved Putin back in 2010. He used to post pictures of fucking Putin shirtless riding a horse.
On the horse.
And be like, look, this is a leader.
Yeah.
It's because he fucking passed some anti-gay legislation in Russia. That's when the liberals switched on him.
That is true. There was like some punk band that was full of lesbians.
Pussy Patrol.
They were upset.
Pussy Riot.
Pussy Riot. That's right. I haven't listened to their music. I bet it's dope.
It's pretty terrible.
Yeah, they had a whole documentary made about him. It was a good documentary, but they're not a good band.
Pussy Riot is a fantastic name for a band full of lesbians. So I will always give them that, and they have my respect.
Yeah, but I'm going to back Will up on this. I want Putin to win now. Like, I'll be completely clear. I did not want him to invade in the beginning, and I didn't think he was going to. I was calling like, he's not going to invade. This is all bullshit. Like, I was on.
I was in the same place with it. I didn't think he was actually going to
y'all
go ahead.
motherfuckers don't play Civ. If you play Civilization, you know.
Did we just
want to
become
attack
best
someone on your
friends?
border, you got to line your troops up first on the border inside your territory and be like, surprise, motherfucker, attack.
Hey, I play Risk. Does that count? Or...
No, Risk ain't shit.
Yeah,
no.
no.
You got to mass your troops on the border to attack.
Reed, you would love
see it coming.
Civilization. I know you, bro. Like, Civilization, you would lose
Civ
yourself.
6 is a fucking great fucking game. Although Tim Pool thinks every kid in America should be taught it during school.
Oh, if Tim Pool likes it, I don't like it no more.
Dude, they came out with an expansion where it's like a fucking climate change expansion. Where like the more you use oil and power and shit, like the weather starts to warm and shit. I was just like, God fucking damn. Also, they added a new government type at the very end. They added 3 new government types, and one of them is corporatist libertarianism. And
That's the way you go. You build your border.
I wanted to pull my fucking hair out.
Run up the climate change, build your seawalls, and become a corporate libertarian hellhole and win the game.
Let's just remind everyone right now, it's going to be a long, cold winter for Europe. Burn your trash. Get that climate change going.
Burn your trash, people.
I can't believe they did that. Added 3 new governments. That's so stupid.
Yeah, it was. One of them is. It's like liberal. They had them all fucked up, but one of them was. I remember specifically was corporatist libertarianism, and it gets a science bonus.
What?
Corporatist
and I was like,
libertarianism.
motherfucker,
That sounds
libertarianism,
like-
if anything, should get a culture bonus.
Right.
That sounds like the classical liberal caucus.
Oh my god, they drive me fucking
Corporatist
nuts. Did you see their
libertarianism.
fucking tweet about like, oh, if you thought COVID was bad, you should have seen what the immigration regime's been doing for 20 years.
Goodness gracious.
I kind of agree with the Lolberts on immigration.
All right, hit me. Tell me why I'm wrong.
Yeah. Why you're wrong
Yeah,
on
hit me.
immigration? I grew up on our farming. We used to have immigrant labor come in pretty readily. They kind of managed themselves, negotiated price with themselves, and came together, and they'd travel across the whole United States, migrating as harvest. Yeah, they'd pick blueberries, and we'd pay them for hand picked labor. Worked out great until the Bush years. They started just getting really rough on immigration. They started prosecuting farmers that would use immigrant labor, and just scared everybody off.
Jeez.
And then they formed the H-2A programs where you'd have to sponsor immigrants 6 months ahead of time and set up with them specifically, and then they'd come to your farm and work and stuff. And I mean, just every aspect of like dealing with that labor, and we've completely went to like machine picking. We still struggle. We kind of like just work with high schoolers and meth monkeys and that kind of thing.
Prison convicts.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
But like the government completely has fucked over like the way that the industry and migrant labor was like negotiating through like human action and shit. Like it was legitimately fine. They were fine. And then the government made it to where we would have to become kind of their landlords and kind of start taking care of them. You'd have to take them to a laundromat to go get groceries. We'd have to buy buses and housing for them. And it just became too daunting.
That's like company town kind of shit.
Oh yeah, dude. And like the bigger farmers, they went down that road, and there's like these huge, like just buildings that just the migrants come, and they are definitely, there was like a thing not too long ago in Georgia where the farmers that were using this migrant labor were like abusing them kind of, and like rape allegations were being thrown around, and the people that were complaining about it, the immigrants, were sent back through the H-2A program and just kind of abused.
Jeez.
It's like everything. Once the government steps in, people fucking abuse it and shit.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, it might not have been as wide of a net as the COVID shit, but
yeah.
Oh no, the
absolutely
COVID shit
longer
was
term.
worse. It's
Yeah.
just
It was worse while it was active,
Yeah.
but it seems to be pretty much over at this
Yeah.
point, right? Like,
Yeah, give or take.
Yeah.
like thank fucking God, and hopefully save
Biden
that,
said like 4 days ago that the pandemic is over, so I'm not worried anymore. I'm happy.
Well, if Biden says
Yeah,
it's
but
over.
you still have people wearing masks in public, so
I don't think
I'm
Newsom
not going to
heard
get my
Biden
11th
say that.
booster shot.
Yeah, I don't think Newsom heard him say that because I think they have a mask mandate still.
Yeah, this
they
California
really?
though.
Crazy.
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
I mean that's where they want you to, only have electric cars and then not charge them. So
Dude, that's fucking wild that they're like, we won't accept gas cars after what, 2035 or whatever, but then like please don't charge your electric car this
Well,
week.
they also banned, didn't they ban generators also? And like 2-stroke engines.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
A few months ago. Yeah.
Like like they banned all like 2-stroke engines.
Dude,
so
how do
can't
you
use-
regulate that? Like, are there the lawnmower police going around and listening for lawnmowers running? And I mean, first of all, why do you have a lawnmower in California? Like, that was the dumb idea of having lawns in California. That was not sustainable.
They don't occur naturally. That's for sure.
No, for sure.
Definitely.
Dude,
Dude, I was out in Vegas for Freedom Fest, and it was like 111 degrees, and there's all these fountains and everything, and these waterfalls and pools and golf courses, and it's in the middle of the desert. I don't know if any of you guys have been out to Vegas, but I'm just like, man, people wonder why they're low on water when they're trying to like create
You're in the fucking
this
desert.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, my sister-in-law lives in Vegas. We go there regularly. It's
I've got
it's
family
fine.
in Vegas.
We stay on the outskirts where she lives. Like, I don't go into the actual city anymore. Did that a couple times, and it's just exhausting.
Dude, I used to live in San Francisco back in like 2010 to 2012. I was living in the Bay Area, and it was bad, man. Like, fucking, you would just walk down the street. There were homeless people all the time, and a lot of these homeless people, like, they either have a bunch of tattoos or they're like younger kids, and it's just like you know that they have an alternative. Like, those tattoos weren't fucking free, motherfucker.
I know someone who did that. He was he went to college with me for a time for a time, and some guys that I also went to college with like had an internship with some other guys, and like these guys came across this dude somewhere in California, and somehow they got to talking and found out that it was this guy that went to school with us, and they told the guys that they knew, and it was like,
jeez. I mean, like there's a huge story in Dallas one time where there was like a whole group of panhandlers who would act homeless and then take all their money from that week, drive or take a bus to Shreveport, where the nearest casino was, stay in an absurdly nice casino, gamble all the money away, and then bus back to Dallas and do it all over again the next week.
I will tell you, going to Shreveport back in like it was like 2012 or something. It was before I was like, it was when I was a shit libertarian, before I'd actually read anything. And going there and just being like, holy shit, like this casino's like wringing this town dry.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no,
man,
that's what they
fucking,
do. I don't understand the point of going to a casino, honestly. And like, if you play Hold'em, that makes sense. But other than that, why are you there?
Me and Cap had a solid.
It's the best.
Yeah, in Reno, me and Cap on the Craps Caucus meeting, we won some money that night.
Dude, we each made out like $300 or $400. Me, Nick, and Dave Benner.
Well, okay.
Here's the thing, Craps is fun because you win together and you lose together, unless you're an asshole.
Yeah, Cap got hot on the dice, and you rolled for what, 30, 40 minutes or something like that?
Yeah, the flying V, baby.
And then you passed it to me, and I rolled forever. I mean, it was great because other people at the table were just throwing chips at me. You know?
Yeah,
they're awesome. Just like, oh, for the shooter, and just throwing chips. And yeah, some lady. I almost got that one lady the fire bet. Remember, I was the 10, which was the point at that on that one. Whenever I crapped out, and had I hit that 10, she'd have got that she'd have won that fire bet and won like $3,000.
Is that the one where you have to hit?
You have to hit all the points, I believe.
4 through 6, and then 8 through 10.
Yeah, all the point numbers.
Okay,
yeah. You were.
And I was on the last point.
You were supposed to show me craps one day, Nick. I was like,
you and Reed went to. You were going to, and you and Reed went to Spike's party, I think.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. That ended up being like we played beer pong, like in front of everybody as they smoozed. Yeah.
Dude,
funniest thing, y'all know Jeremy Todd? Y'all familiar?
I know the
know
name. I
of
don't
him.
know him.
He's the best. He's the best libertarian we got. And he was kind of like the one bringing us to Spike Coa's thing, and just we got in a elevator. Reed, you remember this? Getting in the elevator, there was like 10 like little preteen kids, like dudes that were all like they were stoked, and they had like a basketball and a hoop, and they got in the elevator with us all, and they were just like, yeah. And then Jeremy Todd was just like, yeah. And then we got out, and he like slam dunked their basketball. Them kids were so fucking excited. It was the highlight of Reno for me. They like did a chest bump with Jeremy, like boom.
It is funny.
Jeremy will get
Jeremy's
you on
good
the,
shit.
yeah, he'll get you on the nuclear power train.
Oh yeah,
sure. That's
a good train to be on.
That's his thing.
Yeah,
It's a great train. That's the only train to be on, I think. It's easily the best one.
Mm-hmm.
I spent my time in Reno following Scott Horton around and trying to get high with him. Which was successful, but then I got too high and had to leave.
I won't say publicly what he said because I don't want to get him in trouble. But were you there for the cop discussion?
I was the one that instigated it.
Oh, you were there. Okay.
I asked him. I was like, "Hey, you made this tweet about the Uvalde cops, and I was surprised you didn't get kicked off Twitter." And he just went on this fucking rail on the Uvalde cops and how much he wanted them to commit self-harm.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, Scott is fucking hardcore. He is a tiny, hardcore little dude. Just
But, I mean, if you want to get high with him, it's better at the smaller conventions. Up at the, I went up to the Tennessee convention, and literally he'd walk by you and go, "Hey, you want to go get high?"
Dude, Scott's good people, from what I know of him. But I mean, he's like pocket
in our
size.
commercial.
I was surprised at how little he is. He also he wore like a suit jacket to the that fucking dope ass Mises Caucus bash where he was MC.
Yeah.
He's fucking wearing jeans and a chain wallet.
Oh yeah, that's how he does it.
I mean, that motherfucker. Yeah, he's awesome. I love Scott Horton.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's the best. It was a
I
good
would
show
love
the
to
other
just
day.
hang out with Scott Horton on a regular basis and drink Dr. Pepper and smoke weed.
Dr. Pepper. Oh yeah, he is from Texas. I forgot about that.
All he drinks is Dr. Pepper. I haven't seen him drink anything else. I don't think he's ever had water. He probably brushes his teeth with Dr. Pepper, which I approve of because it's delicious.
It is delicious. That Whataburger has like a limited time thing every now and then where they do a Dr. Pepper milkshake. It's unbelievable.
All right, so people from Texas get really fucking upset when I say that In-N-Out is better than Whataburger.
You're an idiot.
Are you fucking... Whataburger is slightly better Burger King.
Oh my God.
I haven't had In-N-Out to judge, but I do enjoy the Whataburger.
In-N-Out is great, okay? But the only reason In-N-Out is great is because of the sauce. The burgers, if you just have just the patty, the burger of a Whataburger is 10 million times better than In-N-Out.
It's flame. I mean, it kisses the flame, right? I'll give you that. But so does Burger King. So is a Burger King burger patty better than In-N-Out?
Burgers, to me, as long as you have barbecue sauce on the patty, then it's good. I don't really care.
Barbecue sauce?
Well, then Whataburger's for you and not In-N-Out.
It's wicked good, Will. It's wicked good, all right?
It's wicked fucking awesome.
Wicked fucking good guy.
No, that's Yankee shit, bro.
I don't know. There's a time and a place for that.
What about Five Guys? I mean, like, can we all agree that Five Guys is the best?
I don't consider Five Guys fast food. It takes forever.
Yeah.
What do you think about making
it doesn't have a drive-through.
It doesn't have a drive-through either, so it's kind of.
What do you think about making a knockoff restaurant that's called Five Guys and a Girl?
I think In-N-Out is better than Five Guys, although Five Guys doesn't fry their fries in seed oil, so I actually will eat them.
Yeah, no, Five Guys is. I'd say Five Guys is better than In-N-Out and Whataburger.
Dude,
but it's not fast food though. It's just not. It's not the same level.
I've had Whataburger and In-N-Out once each, and I gotta say In-N-Out.
Shut your mouth.
In-N-Out's so much fucking better. Dude, Whataburger's good. Every time I go down to Destin or Florida or anywhere, I make sure to hit a Whataburger. It's fucking good. It's like a really good Burger King.
I tried to go to the one that was supposedly open here, and it's not open yet.
In Woodstock?
Well, are they still making it though? Are they building it?
Like the building looked complete. It just hasn't opened yet. Like last time we were coming back from Shane's, I looked and it was like 4 minutes off the highway, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna go over there. It said it was open. I get over there, there's no cars in the parking lot, and I'm like, that's not open.
They've got really fancy ketchup.
They do have fancy ketchup. It's the good
Yeah,
stuff.
no, the only good ketchup is Heinz.
Oh my god.
It tastes just like Heinz.
But it's not Heinz, and there's difference.
Well, there's
All right,
spicy.
we are
ketchup
talking to
is the
someone
bomb.
from Pennsylvania, so
Pittsburgh,
he might be a little
specifically,
touchy
yeah.
on the ketchup subject.
It's a you don't get it being from Pittsburgh. The local amusement park, someone ordered Hunt's ketchup, and people found out about it before the season. There was a fucking uproar across the city. Like everyone got pissed off about it, and they immediately had to go, no, it's gonna be Heinz ketchup in the parks. Like,
No one even likes Hunt's ketchup. It's like the cheese nips of ketchup.
it was like it was someone in some purchasing department somewhere not paying attention, and they're like, oh, it's cheaper if we buy this. I guarantee that's what happened, and they didn't
White
realize
Castle
the
is just worse, Crystal.
White Castle is easily the worst fast food burger I've ever had in my life. Like not even close.
Have you had Jack in the Box?
Yes, it was way better, but I was also hammered.
The tacos from Jack in the Box.
They put motherfucking craft singles in their tacos at Jack in the Box.
That's fine.
That is fucked up. You gotta be fucked in the head. I think that's a good taco.
I don't know. When you're drunk, it's great.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That would be fucked in the head, right?
With curly fries. Fair enough.
Man, y'all are all like around civilization where you get to talk about these fancy.
Will's just like, I eat blueberries all the time. Blueberry pie, blueberry cobbler, blueberry pancake, blueberry jam.
I only had Jack in the Box and Whataburger when I lived in West Texas.
Will, do you still like blueberries? Do you ever grab a handful of them and just eat them, or is that
bro, right off the bush? It's like I can't eat grocery store blueberries because they suck just because of travel. But
you got the big blueberries or the little tiny high bush ones?
They're big. They're big blueberries.
Yeah. Are they tart?
Just depending on the ripeness. That's the perfect handful of blueberries is like a bunch of ripe ones and then some underripe. You get a little sweet tart. I'm telling you, I'm something of an expert here.
I recently had blueberries from a Kroger that were very tart. I was like, oh my god, this is like a whole new tier of blueberry that's way better.
Yeah, there you go, man. That's just a little underripe.
A little bit underripe. All right. Now, what happens where a blueberry turns a little ashy? Because fuck that shit.
No, that's actually where they're fresher.
They're ashy?
Yes, absolutely. That's what they look like on the bush. And when they get washed, they lose that ashiness.
Not look, like in taste. Like it's
taste.
Yeah, like they taste ashy. Like it's fucking the texture's all fucking wrong. It tastes like ashy. I don't know how else to fucking describe it.
Probably you buying Southern High Bush blueberries, which is for suckers. You buy rabbit eye blueberries. You ask your grocery store to get it.
All right, I'm gonna.
There's a weird industry thing on the types of blueberries. Southern, just in our region, there's Southern High Bush and Rabbit Eye. We grow Rabbit Eye, which are the more natural for the area.
I thought that was just your brand.
It is our brand we use for the wine, but it's just we used it just because the name just kind of.
Boy, if someone else tries to make wine out of Rabbit Eye blueberries, they're gonna have to come
trademark
up with name.
But we trademark that shit.
Wait, is IP fake and gay or not?
Not when it's my shit that I'm protecting.
My dad used to have this. My dad's an English teacher, and he used to have this thing called the WOW Awards that he would give out, but now it's too politically incorrect. So if a student would just ask a dumb question, you'd be like, wow, okay, that one's going on the list. And then at the end of the year, he'd choose the dumbest one. And one of the questions was this chick asked him, what type of fruit goes on strawberry shortcake?
Wow.
Gracious.
I don't know why that came to my brain, but I had to throw
Now
it in
you
there,
throw some blueberries on your strawberry shortcake. Now you're at a party.
It's not strawberry shortcake anymore.
Biologically speaking, strawberries are not fruits.
Listen, it's 2022.
Will, do you ever put your blueberries in some gummies?
What we got there? Ooh, nice. Is that
Jake is
CBD
definitely streaming from a state where that's legal.
Yes.
It's Delta 8.
Well, then we're good.
Yeah.
Faking gay.
Yeah, I definitely don't have the other stuff anywhere in the house. But yeah.
Yes, we're all Delta 8 users.
Delta 8 is great. I love it.
It's the best Delta. Except for the airline, which we all appreciate.
Yeah. I mean, how bizarre is it that you just change one molecule and it's legal all of a sudden? How
That's the legal system for you. I don't like.
Freaking stupid is that? It makes no
That's
sense.
like
you just split an atom and then you can't, own it if you're in Iran anymore. So
oh, what's the fucking name of that guy? Fucking Jimmy Dore really liked him. It's Dr. something. But he was the first one I saw break down the new Pfizer pill versus ivermectin. And he was like, look, you can look at the molecules, they're very different. And so ivermectin's not under patent anymore, but this new Pfizer molecule, they can put that under patent. And then it basically uses the same mechanism. It uses one of the like 5 different mechanisms that ivermectin was using to prevent the spread of COVID in your body. And it would use that mechanism. And he was like, all right, I mean, you can patent it. And it was funny to watch him because he was like, not really red pill, but talking about a lot of really red pill shit.
Let's name this episode Ivermectin Election Holocaust.
Oh my God.
Dr. John Campbell, that's his name.
I don't even think we need to name it that anymore, Will. I think you just got us taken down.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I have already transferred all of our videos over to over to Rumble, and I'm in the process of doing Odyssey. So
nice.
We should be a little more resilient.
Can we say the N-word on Rumble?
Nuclear?
Nuclear. Yeah.
Nuclear.
The N-word.
I love that video of Trump so much. I watched it on loop.
The N-word.
Embarrassing number of times.
Oh man, the one where it's got the music that na na na, and then it just N-word.
Will's MAGA now. He can't help
it.
Yeah,
that's how they got me. Sorry, fellas.
Do you guys ever wish you were MAGA? Because I do sometimes. It would be so much fun. Like if you could actually sometimes I think about just LARPing it because it would. Oh man, it'd be so
if Trump
entertaining.
Came around 10 years earlier, I would have been MAGA.
Reed, if the Walberts watched you say that.
Oh, I've said way worse than that.
You confirm all of their suspicions.
No, I mean I hate Trump because of his policies, but he is so funny and so much fun.
He's fucking hilarious.
So entertaining.
The MAGA people are so retarded and so fun. It's just like I wish that I could just be in that crowd whipping it up. I mean, dude, like if you ever wanted to grift, grifting as a shitlib would be tough because you'd have to keep the act up so long and you'd have to really watch your step. It would be the worst. But being a MAGA grifter would be so easy and so fun and so enjoyable. Like, I don't know. If you ever see me go that way, that's why, because it's just fucking super easy.
I look forward to you taking over Jack Posobiec.
Yeah, no, see, he doesn't do it in a fun way. I would do it like I don't know. Well, it's most fun the way Trump does it, I guess. Like, he's the guy who has the most fun, but just like being there in his presence, and kind of like Eric Jackman does, like how he just kind of lives off of all of it. Like, it's just fun.
I miss Trump on Twitter, man.
Yeah, Trump on Twitter was the greatest.
I got to live it for like
being a
almost a
right-wing
year.
troll. Like, the funnest in politics I've ever had was in high school. We had a liberal teacher, and when Bush beat Gore, we just were chanting USA to her, and I swear to God, she fucking started crying. Like, just like, it was the best.
It's fun. It's fun.
It's so fun.
And it's hilarious. I mean, it was, people acted like people like weeping after Hillary lost was some new thing, but it happens every daggum election that they lose.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Dude,
I won't lie though. I had fun when Biden won too. Like that was still a fun day.
That was wild. Just waking up, it's like, oh, it changed overnight.
Boys got a little
which was
wild
totally
on that one.
legitimate.
They did a little bit more than crying. They did that Capitol field trip.
The unguided tour of the Capitol.
The Capitol field trip.
They're just boys being boys.
Yeah. That's what I mean. It would be so much fun though to like go there, stop the steal, stop. I mean, come on. It's like it's so much more fun than like whatever the left likes to pretend to care about. The right like is they're just their heart is in it. They're just retarded. So it's just more fun.
I think you could say that about the left too.
No, I don't think their heart's really in it. I don't think that like any of them really believe any of this. It's like
they think they have to believe what they say.
It's like being an officer in Nazi Germany. Like you're just always like, oh God, am I gonna get fucking taken out back and shot because I fucked something up? Like, oh God, okay, I better not screw. Like that's what being a liberal is like.
That's an aspect to it, but they really do believe that, especially with all the fucking like woke shit. They believe that they are doing it correctly, and they fucking hate tradition. Anything with tradition, they look at as
I feel
invalid.
Like liberalism is hijacked by such a small minority of people who just cut your head off if you step out of line at all. Like I feel like 90% of the people who might believe in like, oh yeah, we want a higher minimum wage and we want like healthcare or something, but I don't think most of them believe like all that shit. Like they just they know that they'll get, executed if they don't. Where the Trump people, I think they sincerely believe all of it.
I think they believe it. I don't think they're very deep into it. They have a very cursory understanding of what's going on, and it's really just the tolerance shit, right? Like they just like, and that's why they keep sending their kids to the fucking the drag shows for kids because they want to be tolerant, right?
There is something to that. It's just like it's so hard to like really pin it down because it's millions of people on each side.
Well, it's kind of it really is like the postmodern worldview of like, okay, well, we're just realizing like all this culture is kind of a construct, which is not entirely false, but like this idea, like you start with the idea that men should hold the door open for women. That's kind of silly, and then you just go a little step further, and it's like, well, why do we treat men and women differently this way? And since they don't actually understand
why do we
any
let
of it
women
and they
vote?
don't appreciate any of it, they're very easily able to disregard it. Sorry, I missed what you said.
I didn't say anything. It was good.
Chad Russell was right. Is that what I'm hearing? That's the postmodernism thing. Like I got a touch of that. Dude,
I got sucked into it a little bit before fucking Dave Smith woke my ass up. And it's just, I don't know, you just kind of start thinking like, oh, why do we treat the sexes different? This is all a construct. We don't have to do this. Gender roles are a joke. It's just like a social thing. And then at a certain point, you're like, if you really look at it, it's like, oh, well, I mean, there is this whole thing where one of the genders has the babies, and that has a lot of
sounds like
fallout.
bigotry to me.
Yeah, I was gonna say that sounds like intolerant.
It's not one of the genders. One of the body part types
Goodness gracious.
Better. We're doing better.
How did we manage to hit on every no topic this podcast?
I don't know, because we never got our weather report from Buddy.
We need Buddy on here, don't we? Oh,
He was supposed to come on and give was supposed to give us a hurricane update.
The best, like, shit-lib libertarian boogeyman is Buddy. They think Buddy is like this hardcore badass, but he's the sweetest dude in existence. And all them shit libs, the libertarian types, they think he's like a bad boy. And he is a bit of one. Let's just
I don't even know who this is. Who are you talking about?
Buddy, he's on the executive committee. I mean, he's from Savannah. He's a landscape.
He's trying to meme Will all the time.
He does try to meme me.
Yeah.
He's in the fucking
He's in the chat.
He's in our
Twitter
group
thread
chat.
for
Dude.
the LP Georgia.
All right, I'm in there so little, man.
I put him
Recently.
in the one with everyone else too, just because they needed some Care Bear energy.
I turned on notifications for that Twitter thread after I caught shit for one of my more recent threads.
So what do you guys think? Will Bell for governor 2024? What do you say, Will?
Never.
Run for something that we can actually have.
I tried to get him to run for agriculture commissioner.
Yeah, I know. He told me.
I was honored but petrified.
That's fine. We got Radabon.
Radabon's great.
That dude's got some balls.
He's
See,
great.
that's the good thing about the fucking blue pill libertarians is that they will actually run for shit.
They will, and they'll believe they're gonna win, like somehow. And I'm just like, you get them, fellas.
Fucking 2016, I thought Gary Johnson would get more votes than Donald Trump. That's how fucking blue pilled I was. I just didn't understand anything. But then, to my credit, after fucking Trump won, I was like, okay, I don't understand anything. I gotta take a step back, realize
Trump
I'm a fucking
winning.
idiot. And that eventually led me to Thomas Sowell, Dave Smith, Murray Rothbard, all that shit.
Well, the epitome of what I was talking about with MAGA just being so much fun is Herschel Walker. Like, oh my god, it's so much fun. Like,
I've been trying to fucking hit on Herschel Walker recently because I know the blue-pilled libertarians would like that. Here's my opinion: is that motherfucker was really good at football.
Yes, he
and
was.
Georgia football is very important to me.
He's gonna tackle inflation.
Oh, fuck yeah. Here's the thing. He played offense?
Yeah, he got tackled. Come on.
Not much.
I'm just
take that back.
Yeah, definitely not much.
I did like throwing a little support behind Chase on that thing on the tweet thread, but talking about like even if Herschel Walker put a gun to my head, I'd still vote for Chase Oliver.
you guys could not stop me from voting for Herschel Walker if I live in Georgia. It'd just be so much fun.
Warnock's more based. We've talked about it. He talks about Moloch. You know?
It would be tough. I want.
He talks about Moloch?
Yeah, man. He says
the black guy who invented white guys?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he says Moloch runs the military. He said this probably 10 years ago or something, but it's still like.
I voted for Warnock in the runoff.
You got to get him and the Westboro Baptist Church to have a little convo about.
There you go.
There's some crossover there.
I the Westboro Baptist Church once.
The best that
dude, I've got to get Shirley Phelps Roper on my show. There's some like weird crossover that actually takes place there. Like
well, I was in Kansas the one time for work, and we were like, "All right, we're done with stuff. What do we do?" And we're looking, and we're like, "Oh, Westboro Baptist Church. Let's go see what happens there."
Oh my God. You didn't even know what it was?
No, we knew what it was. We're like, we didn't realize
made it out.
We didn't realize it was in Topeka, and we saw it on the map while just scrolling on Google Maps, and we're like, okay, we have to go there. So we went there.
Yeah, we got to get Shirley Phelps Roper on Tower Gang. Can you imagine that crossover? That
Is she from Westboro Baptist?
Yeah, she's like she's the God hates fags one. You know that one. That's her.
Oh Jesus!
No,
Christ.
Like,
well, y'all had a fucking flat earther on. I watched that shit. Although I think that
was wild.
That was just Toad and Cole, I think.
No, I was on there for the second half, and what that show made me realize is if anyone like knows enough that you don't know about, they can convince you of anything. Like they could convince you anything was fake, anything was real, because that guy had like point after point after point, and it's just like, dude, the earth isn't flat, but I can't argue against your case because I don't know enough.
Well,
what I hated
with
the
the
most
flat
about
Earth
that-
case is individual points. All the individual points you can kind of make sense there, but the overarching view of it, if you look at all of them together, they contradict.
Oh well, they've really like
they're
fucking
absurd.
laid it out and figured. I mean, I was just like,
There's not it's all a bunch of individual things that don't go back to a whole argument overall. Not cleanly enough to actually be legitimate. Like I remember I watched that Flat Earth documentary on Netflix, and they kept doing experiments on it, and they're like, all right, if this happens, then we're gonna know the earth is flat. If this happens, then it's round. And every experiment came back, oh, it's round. I guess something's wrong here.
there's that tweet that the flat earthers made, like we're gonna unite all flat earthers around the globe or something. I don't.
Yeah,
that was a
Oh
perfect
god.
tweet. Yeah.
The part that bothered me the most about that fucking flat earther interview was how much he was like, dude, man, I didn't want to believe this, but I couldn't refute it. I just kept going deeper and deeper. I was like,
that's the tweet. Yeah.
Fuck. That's how I feel about like red pill shit. Like it's like I don't want to believe that the media is evil and that our government hates us, but it's true. And it's just like, oh fuck, I do sound like a flat earther. I sound exactly like one.
11 didn't even happen.
11?
Okay.
9/11.
I missed a number right before that. I assume it was 8.
I heard a new conspiracy theory about 9/11 this year that the people jumping out of the windows were fake. It was FBI agents throwing mannequins out the windows. I was just like, wow.
Nice.
No, that was CIA operation something.
Get your facts straight, Reed.
Sorry, I messed it up. Well, hey guys, I gotta go to bed. My brother's getting married this weekend tomorrow. I gotta,
nice. Congrats.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for jumping in, man.
Yeah, good talking with you guys. Will Bell 2024. We're gonna make it happen. So
sounds like a plan to me. You heard it here first.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Later, Reed.
Brother.
See you.
Bye.
Y'all, it is 11:35. We've been going for 3 hours and 5 minutes.
Wow.
It's our longest, and we still have 4 people watching right now.
Fuck yeah.
Stephen Hilton
been there the whole time.
Stephen Hilton is the champion of this whole stream.
Stephen Hilton is our biggest fan. And really just what's keeping the show moving.
Once we make t-shirts, he definitely gets one for sure.
Both Scott Horton and Ryan Dawson say building 7 ain't shit. So I'm gonna go with them.
Wait, what?
The building 7 thing where you watch that video of it like collapsing in like an accordion or whatever. Both Scott Horton and Ryan Dawson don't think that building 7 is like it's not what people think. They're like the building 7 fucking problem with that is that the response team shit was all in that building instead of where it should have been. Because Giuliani moved it there, and then they couldn't talk to the firefighters that were going up the towers, and that's why all the firefighters died, because they couldn't communicate with them to get out.
Jeez, man, that was brutal. Does anybody?
Reed was just here. Fucking, if Reed was still here for that was on his fucking podcast, and I saw that.
Reed will take you down some 9/11 rabbit holes, man.
I don't really want to go down
ready
those.
for him.
Yeah,
Did you ever see talk of that guy that like was talking about the plane didn't exist and the one that crashed in Pennsylvania?
Yeah,
it was just like that wasn't a plane. And Reed just kind of sits there and talks to him for an hour, and the guy completely fucking. I think the guy's like one of the loose change dudes. I could be wrong. I get them
I
all.
do know Ryan Dawson hates loose change because of
Yeah.
Rick's podcast.
Yeah, for sure. But like, it's a fascinating watch just to watch the guy be like, nope, just wasn't a plane. Like it's been a while, but it's a fun watch. Reed just kind of goes through it with just like, well, what about this? And the guy just completely makes an ass of himself. And
yeah, I mean, I've been out to the site in Pennsylvania where that happened, but I mean, that
was the wreckage scattered for miles.
I mean, there's nothing there anymore, so I don't know. They built a big monument memorial center to it.
Telling y'all, the whole thing didn't even happen.
I mean, who was it? Who's God?
There never were twin towers.
Who was saying that? Isn't it a conspiracy that we shot it down and they didn't like break into the cockpit and push it to the ground?
I think there's some legitimacy to that, but I'm no way. Like anytime somebody talks with any authority on 9/11 or anything, I just go, "Oh, I was just kidding. I don't know."
My stance on all that shit is kind of the Dave Smith stance, which is just like there's so much shit to talk about how the government lies to us and cheats us and steals from us and murders us and all that fucking shit. You don't even need 9/11. So like, why even talk about it?
That's
because
fair.
like once you start talking about a 9/11 conspiracy, that's a really easy way to get people to dismiss you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so whether or not it's true, yeah, whatever. It's just you don't even need it. You don't need it. Like all the war on terror shit is plenty, and it's fucking
plenty.
And why 9/11 even happened? Act like 9/11, like the fucking official story is true, and just talk about why it happened. That's enough.
Focus on that little tidbit that like Dick Cheney owed Halliburton like an ungodly amount of money for like some deal he fucked up, and then
I do
might
like
have
that
ignored a few things.
It's a
and then,
morsel.
yeah, a little morsel to get you down the rabbit trail. Like,
yeah, man. Did y'all ever watch Vice?
Oh, I love that movie.
No,
it's a great movie.
What's like it was an HBO thing?
No. Vice, the movie Vice. The guy who made The Big Short also made a movie
Adam
about Dick
McKay,
Cheney.
right?
Oh, Adam McKay.
Yeah.
Also directed Anchorman. Fucking great movie.
Excellent movie.
Can you how is that possible that he directed Anchorman and then The Big Short?
Dude, how is it possible that fucking Jim Carrey was dope in The Truman Show? This fucking comedians can act. Comedians can direct.
But that is
we fucking want a comedian to be president.
Well, yeah, that's true. But like I don't know. To me, it's crazy that Anchorman is some of the most idiotic / hilarious humor, but then he understands how the housing crisis happened. Like down
he
to
read
the very detail.
Michael Lewis's book, which
and then like was able to put that. Do you realize how difficult it is to communicate that properly on screen in 2 hours?
And he did a very good job. He does the fourth wall breaking thing to like break down little scenes and talk about where they're dramatizing and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really well done documentary. And honestly, I've seen the Tonya Harding documentary, copied that, and it's really effective.
I almost did. I kind of tried to actually, but I didn't have enough cash to set up a whole production for it. So I was gonna for Divine Dominate. I was gonna do Robbie actually, like he's the narrator for the movie, and I was gonna have him actually on screen doing stuff, and then for like one chapter of the movie, his narration was just going to be a comedy bit about what was happening on screen. Yeah,
dude, Robbie's been really good recently on Part of the Problem.
Yeah,
especially like since COVID, I feel like he's been more on top of shit than Dave has been, and that's because Dave has kids and he's busy.
Yeah, I know he's busy.
Yeah,
I'm aware. I've been trying to get him to interview for the movie for 6 months, and never once has happened. So
I don't get my credit.
You don't get your credit, Nick.
You don't deserve credit.
You didn't quite land the gig for me.
I thought I had
close,
it.
Though. You came super close. Heist was texting with him. You had Heist texting with him, so there's only so much you can do.
When I don't have his number, I went through all the channels I knew.
Well,
who you're talking about?
Dave. I tried to get him in the movie.
Smith. He's a comedian / podcaster.
Oh, I've heard of him. Yeah.
He is apparently the most consistent motherfucker you know.
He's consistently dodging my emails.
I've heard him called the
He is
Jewish
consistent.
Jaguar.
Oh man. Well, yeah, I gotta go to bed.
Yeah,
right on.
How did we do 3 hours?
3 hours. We're a Joe Rogan episode, guys.
This is impressive.
We went down some paths that
we didn't.
I
Run out
told
of
y'all
stuff to talk
motherfuckers
about.
I can talk.
Yeah, that is helpful. It's helpful to have one guy that can talk when everybody else is just like, well, I don't know what's next.
So the title of this episode is
No.
Come on.
All right.
6
If anyone's still
million
paying
seconds.
attention, like, subscribe, hit that little bell icon, and pay attention for the next time because.
Well, yeah, and go to lpgeorgia.com because we got a bunch of candidates running in this upcoming election that will be stolen by one of the two major parties because that's what they do every election.
And seriously, all of them are absolutely better than their Republican and Democrat counterparts. And it's
Every
not
single
really
one.
even close.
It's not close.
It's
Like,
not
at all.
close.
It's kind of crazy. Every now and then, I mean, most of the time, there's at least one Republican running statewide that you're like, okay, yeah, like I could live with that. There's not one this time.
No. Fucking
They're all terrible.
Brian Kemp's a fucking coward piece of shit. Herschel Walker, as much as I fucking love him for his football, you can't vote for that motherfucker. God damn.
Dude makes up a new story every week about something he claims
The
he did
dude
that
is
everyone
not-
debunks immediately.
What the
You're gonna
fuck
be
is
an
the GOP even
embarrassment.
thinking running him? That's
a good
insane.
I think he's going to win, and we're going to be in an embarrassment. Like we're going to be the state that has Marjorie Taylor Greene and Herschel Walker.
First, MGP is okay.
Hey, maybe
But
that'll get us
fucking,
more
I bet
libertarians.
Chase gets more votes than Shane just because he's running as Herschel.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, probably.
I mean,
That's just the nature of the race, you know.
Do you think we have any chance of winning a single race?
Not that I'm aware of.
No, but I think Ted's going to turn out big.
I think Ted's going to turn out real big.
I think people are going to look and go, Raffensperger or this other,
Why
we're
would
looking
Ted
at
turn out
Dean to
bigger
win.
than like Ryan? I don't know.
Ted goes to
Hey.
all the Republican events, and they
the
love
Republicans
Ted.
And the Republicans hate Raffensperger.
Okay, so that might give him an extra 900 votes, 1,000 votes, something like that.
I don't know, man.
I think there's a lot of them.
Most people just look at the fucking RDL in front.
But that's the thing is any of the MAGA folks are super pissed at Raffensperger anyway, and they're probably going to go, I'm not voting for this guy and I'm not voting for the Democrat and throw it to Ted. Like,
yep.
Ted has a very good shot.
I had a conversation with a dude, old 60-year-old boomer, just talking to me. He's like, you know what, Will? I know you're a libertarian and I'm a libertarian too. And I was just like, hell yeah, brother. And I was like, might as well not vote or vote libertarian. That's the only thing you can do. And I was like, hell yeah. And then like I said, you should check out Shane Hazel. He's the guy we're running for governor. And he was just like, well, got to vote for the lesser of two evils right there.
What the
fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? I swear to God.
We have a runoff system. What the fuck?
It's
what?
It's what it is. It's people, man. They can get right up to the wall with libertarianism, and then they just can't make that fucking leap.
Dude,
they're too scared of Stacey Abrams or whatever.
I get being scared of Stacey Abrams.
I do too.
I'm afraid of Stacey.
She's not going to win.
Abrams.
She's slipping in the polls.
Yeah, she's not going to win.
And wait till Jake takes her down on with Brad Binkley on Tuesday.
Oh man, we go deep dive on Stacey Abrams on Monday.
That'll
Chelsea
make
Brian
waves.
Kemp making like the picture of her in her Star Trek uniform, and he said,
I've been getting those mailers all the time.
Radical agenda is out of this world.
Oh, I forgot they put her on national television as the president of the world.
Star Trek. It's great. Man.
Woke. I mean, it's the woke Star Trek.
I love that Rogan railed on her.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I posted that video. It didn't get a lot of traction.
Weird.
People don't like to talk about abortion. I don't like to touch that shit with a
touch. Abortion's a really fucking tough issue for libertarians because we're very split, and rightfully so. It's a very difficult issue.
It's literally the hardest one. Whenever like somebody I'm talking to about politics brings up abortion, I'm just like, look, that is literally the hardest topic to talk about. We can literally talk about anything else. I don't care what you think about that.
And there's so many other problems we can solve before we fight over that.
Yeah.
I will say
literally like a million other problems that will fix everyone's life before.
There are certain Mises-associated libertarians who think it's an easy issue, and you just go to conception, but because they don't want a gray area there. But also, we have a fucking gray area about when does a kid become an adult. That's an equally difficult question, right? And it's also very important.
We didn't touch that third rail yet.
Unfortunately, yeah, exactly, right?
Almost midnight. Let's
libertarianism might not have a black and white answer for fucking everything when it's a fucking hard ass question where two people's rights conflict with each other. Yeah. Like it's fucking hard. And that's okay. We're here to solve hard problems, but for most of the shit, libertarians is fucking easy because it's fucking clean, and it's like it's morally right, deontologically, and consequentially.
All right.
It's a great word, deontologically.
Yeah, I'm good with the words, man.
Deontology.
With them.
Yeah,
and I'm like
pat yourself on the back.
5 drinks deep. I heard Liberty Libations, and I'm like, great. I'm cheating on my no alcohol.
I love it.
You had alcohol on Tuesday night, so I mean,
not that much, but you committed.
A man of my own heart, right there, man.
Dude, I love booze.
I appreciate that you committed to the role. That's nice. Y'all, I'm gonna wrap us up. Like Nick said, subscribe, comment, share, get on our website. Go watch our documentary that comes out next Thursday evening. It comes out, I think, at 9:00 in the evening. And yeah, tune in next time. Tune in on Monday night / anytime after that to watch me and Brad Binkley talk about Stacey Abrams. Anything y'all want to say to send us off?
Join LP Georgia if you're not a member. $5 a month.
Buy Will's wine. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.